All right, here we go. Let's go Niners. Let's go. Come on. Let's go Niners. Let's go Niners. Let's go. All right, here we got the 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. All right, here we go. Geno Smith hikes the ball, throws it. He's got to lock it, and that will be a first down, folks. First down on the marker. First down marker. First down. All right. Well, the Seahawks got Kenneth Walker here, so let's see how useful he'll be from his coming back from his injury. First and 10 at Seattle 45. Hikes the ball, does a fake pass, and it's caught, but it brings it back 5 yards. 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and Greenlaw with the tackle. 49ers defense, they're doing good. They are pretty good. Second and 13, folks. Geno in the hikes the ball. Want to get something real quick. Facing pressure. Geno's going to fake the run and almost picked off. Almost picked off by Greenlaw. Number 57 for the 49ers. Right in his hands, and he just dropped it. That brings up third and 13 now. Alrighty. Let's see that replay. Oh, right in his hands, and he just drops it. What a butterfinger play that is. Butterfingers he is. All right. Third down. Here we go. Geno hikes the ball, trying to get rid of there. You get facing pressure, throws it, and it is incomplete. And they wanted a flag, and no flag. Fourth down. Punt unit coming out. I thought there was a little PI action. Let's see the replay here. He's seeing a lot of pressure he is. Nope, they're not showing a good replay. That's fun. Okay, well, here comes Dixon for the punt. Here we go. Punt is away, and here we go. Fair catch is called right around the 10-yard line of the 49ers. So 49ers will get the ball, and here comes Brock Purdy. The man, the myth, legend, folks. 0-0 ball game with 12:54 in the first quarter. Nothing, as the Seahawks got nothing on the first drive. Yeah. Oh, boy. There we go. Interesting news. Carlos Rodon goes to the New York Yankees on a 6-year deal. That's fun. Okay. That's fantastic. That's fantastic to hear. While we're on commercial break, folks, Yep. 49ers got the ball, folks, at their own 10-yard line as we're in a commercial break. God. Happy holidays, folks. Happy holidays. All right. So why, as a Packer fan, am I rooting for the 49ers tonight? Well, if the Niners win, it helps the Packers' playoff chances. Helps the Packers' playoff chances out. Back from a commercial break. All right, let's go. All right, Brock Purdy under center. Here we go. Snap. Gives it to McCaffrey. McCaffrey trying to get something. Going outside, and he gets about 3-4 yards. Brings up second down. All righty. Purdy under center. Fakes the handoff to McCaffrey. Facing pressure. Gets rid of it. Gives it to Kittle. Kittle trying to break the tackle. And he gets about 2 yards. Third down coming up. Third down, folks. Come on, 49ers. Let's go. Let's go, 49ers. Why am I rooting for the 49ers? Well, it helps the Packers' playoff chances. Even though we're most likely not going to do the playoffs, I can hope for the Packers to make the playoffs. Got to hope for it. Also, something for me to root for at this point, since we're going to get probably a good draft pick no matter what. So, hey, might as well try to root to hope you get the playoffs at this point. All right, Purdy hikes ball. Throws it. Got him, man. And he's short for the first down. And that was McCaffrey. He's just short 4th and 1. Let's see what they do here. They might go for it. And I think they will go for it. Let's see. Quenching first there. Quenching the thirst. He was definitely short of the marker for the first down. No, he's way short. Yeah, he's definitely way short when they're showing the replay. Up, they go decide to punt it. I don't blame them there. Too risky to go for it. All right, here comes the punt. Punts it away, and here we go. And this one's be a fair catch right around Seattle 35 as Geno Smith comes out for the Seahawks. We go back to commercial break. 10:57 remaining in the first quarter. No score is tied 0-0 right now for 49ers and Seattle Seahawks. Yes. How's everybody doing in the chat, folks? How are we doing in the chat? I believe. All right. While we're commercial break, let's just do this for fun. Let's see if I can share my screen real quick. Before we go back to commercial break. Share screen. Woo, that's fun. All right. So let's see if I can do this real quick. Select a team. Oh boy, this is fun. Hold on. There we go. All right. So currently, the Packers have a 6% chance, according to New York Times, to make the playoffs. Here's how the Packers can make the playoffs. Theoretically, win out is the entire key. So if they win out, this is before any other team outcomes, they would have basically a 53% chance is what I'm looking at here. So they must win out here. They're not going to be hosting a playoff game. So because of this, tonight's game for the Seahawks and the 49ers is very like demanding for the Packers if they want to get to the playoff seat, and that's why Aaron Rodgers said on Tuesday with the Pat McAfee show that why he's rooting for the 49ers because it helps the Packers' playoff chances, and by doing that, we see how much of it that just increased our chances right there from like a 52 to over 20 to over 10% there. So then, if you want to get a little more help, most likely won't happen, but this is to compete wise for like the Vikings to be more competitive in the later days. This is just for fun. I'll just put this for Raven fans if you want to enjoy. Yeah, we'll go with the Panthers. Why not? Nah, not happening. We'll go with Eagles just for fun. And then this. So then we keep doing the outcome wise. And we keep it going. We'll just go. See. So like this game, this be helpful if the Lions lost one game, even though it really doesn't matter because Packers play the Lions last week of football, so in the regular season. So if the Lions somehow lost, it would help the Packers' playoff chances even more. And as long as this game doesn't go in a tie, then we are all fine. So that is the playoff chances for the Packers of this week, who we're rooting for. All right, so back to the game. Handoff to Walker, and it was short. He didn't get through the line of scrimmage. It was like negative 1 yard and third down coming up for the 49ers. I mean, not 49ers, excuse me, the Seahawks. Seahawks not getting anything here. That 49ers defense is a bit scary, too. All righty. Smith gonna throw it, dumps it off to Fan, and he gets about like 4 yards, and that really does nothing. And fourth down. Here comes the punt game. Woohoo! Very punting. This will be Pat McAfee's kind of game, if you know what I mean, since he was a punter in the NFL. So yeah, not a fun game, really, folks. Not a fun game. 0-0 still with less than 10 minutes left in the first quarter. Here comes the punt. Here we go. Is away. Ooh, it almost got blocked. Not really. It kind of did. Fair catch is called around the 49ers 13-yard line, folks. So Brock Purdy will get the ball with 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Woohoo. Fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy, the last pick, used Mr. Irrelevant. in the draft. This is the best irrelevant person I've seen forever. I don't know the last time when the last irrelevant picks were good. All right, here we go. What we do here? Dump it off to McCaffrey once again. Let's see. That gives me a hand off to McCaffrey. Let's see. All right, Purdy and shotgun. Oh, fixed hand off McCaffrey. Nope, he dumps it off to McCaffrey. That's fine. And McCaffrey going to get a couple yards. He's going to be short of first down, but he's got about 6-7 yards. So it'll be second, third, and fourth. Second and 3 or second and 4. Let's see. 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Score is still 0-0. Nobody scored yet. Brock Purdy went to Iowa State, folks. Interesting. Went to Iowa State. Iowa State Cyclones. Interesting. All right, here we go. Purdy and shotgun. He's going to hand off to McCaffrey at this point. I know he is. Here we go. He's going to hand it off. Hands it off to McCaffrey. Oh, he's got big room. He's going to 30. He's going to 40. First down, baby. Let's go, McCaffrey. That's some helpful in fantasy points. Big first down for the 49ers. He got some room. He had all room. Big hole for him. And that is a first down. Yeah, big. Oh, he could have taken off. He went straight still. He could have went off more. Oh, he had it. He was trying to break Diggs' ankle. Oh, he had if he kept one straight. All right, here we go. First and 10 at the 49ers 44-yard line. Hand off McCaffrey again. Trying to find some room, and he gets some yards, about 3-4 yards. Less than 8 minutes left in the first quarter, folks. Oh, McCaffrey had it. If he kept going straight, he would have been gone. He would have gotten a lot more. And a Seahawks player is down. Moan, number 90 on the defense for the Seahawks, is down the field. Oh, God. We're going to take a commercial break from injury timeouts on the field. Woohoo. How is the chat doing, guys? How are we doing today? How are we doing? Oh, boy. 49ers have the ball at their own 45-yard line with 0-0 is still score left in the first quarter. Over 8 minutes left, folks. 8 minutes left in the first quarter. With an injury timeout, so we'll be back pretty soon. All right, here we go. Come on now, let's go. All right, back from commercial break. Let's go. Here we go. Alrighty. Still talking over, discussing what play they're going to call with Purdy and Shanahan. They're still discussing. So let's see what they're going to make up their minds. I bet it's probably another McCaffrey run, especially with Deebo Samuel out for the 49ers, which is just a killer for them. But he's not out for the entire season, which is good for them. He'll be out probably for 2 weeks, is what the latest reports were. So that's not bad for 49ers. All right. And as number 94, the Seahawks is getting carried off the field with some teammates of his and coaches. Prayers for him. Hopefully he's okay. All right. Purdy, 2nd and 7 in shotgun. You got a huge check in the fullback position. McCaffrey in the back. Let's see what they do. I bet you it's a run. Oh, it's a toss to McCaffrey. I'm not surprised. Here comes the big run. He's trying to get some yards. And he's short of first down, but he gets a bunch of yards. It will be 3rd down and 3 coming up, folks. 3rd and 3. Coming up. 7 minutes left in the first quarter. The Seahawks defense and the run is terrible. They have a terrible run defense right now. They've allowed over 150 yards per game. They've allowed that. All right, 3rd and 3. Here we go. Let's go, Purdy. I'm on. Let's go, 49ers. Let's go. Rooting for the 49ers so helps the Packers' chances. Even though the Packers probably not going to play playoffs, gotta hope. You gotta have some hope. Purdy gets a man. That's a 1st down to Jennings. 1st down, baby. Whoop. 1st down. Let's go. Good job, Purdy. Well, they pull back. The nickel CB pulls back, so that's why I trade loose. And they were playing zone off him, so it was like 5-10 yards off, which is why he got that catch. Don't want to be playing zone on a 3rd down play in that kind of situation because he can go slant routes and do a post. All right, here we go. Purdy hands it, tosses it to McCaffrey. McCaffrey going to get some yards. Nope, he gets no yards. He gets about nothing. Back of the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Less than 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Score is still 0-0, folks. If the 49ers win, they get into the playoffs. If the 49ers win tonight, they clinch the NFC West. The Seahawks are just still, if the Seahawks win, they don't get into the playoffs. Or if they have no playoff implications. They're just trying to fight for a playoff spot. They're trying to fight for one. And this is a big testament for the Seahawks as they lost to the Carolina Panthers last week. All right, Purdy hikes ball. Trying to get something here. Faces pressure. Gets rid of it. McCaffrey. 1st down, baby. Let's go, McCaffrey. 1st down, baby. 1st down. 1st and 10. Let's go. Boy, oh boy. I wish I was in fantasy playoffs right now. I wish I was in the fantasy playoffs of my league. I have McCaffrey. McCaffrey doing a whole lot good right now for me. All right, here we go. Less than 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Let's see. McCaffrey gets the ball, gets some yards, about 2 yards. It's like the Christian McCaffrey show right here, folks. We're going. Purdy hikes ball, fakes the toss, gets a man wide open. George Kittle going for a touchdown. That's a touchdown. Touchdown. 49ers. Wide open was George Kittle right in the middle. Wow, Purdy. Let's go. Let's go, Niners. Niners take the lead to start out with getting the scoring the touchdown with George Kittle. George Kittle is wide open on that. Wide open. All right, here comes the extra point by Robbie Gould. Here we go. An extra point is good. 49ers lead it 7-0, folks. Let's do this replay again. Seahawks thought they're going to go, oh my goodness. Wide open. Wide open. Diggs did not stay on him well. Brilliant play by the 49ers because they were trying to do like a kind of a quick pass to McCaffrey or the other guy on the left. They were trying to do quick both, and then they saw George Kittle right in the middle. Unbelievable. Wide open. Alrighty. Less than 4 minutes here in the first quarter. All right, kickoff's away, and the Seahawks get the ball around their 30-yard line. All right, here we go. Geno Smith. Walker gets the ball and gets tackled, but he gets some yards, about 3 yards. 2nd and 7 coming up. All right, Geno. Here we go. Nice ball. Pressure right off the bat. Gets sacked. Fumble. Recovered. Seahawks got the ball. Man, he got palled. Still Seahawks ball, but that's going to be a huge loss for the Seahawks of yards. Man, number 29 for the 49ers just came out of nowhere on Geno Smith. He didn't even see. He's got blindside right there. And that is Hufanga. They bring the safety right in there. Yeah, nobody on the blocking. Number 84, Hollister, didn't even block him. He came right out of nowhere. Geno didn't even see him. Boom. All right, 3rd and 18. Jeez. Right, gets up in here. Dumps it off. Nope, incomplete. All righty. Here comes the punt unit for the Seahawks. 49ers will get the ball back. We have 2:25 left in the first quarter. Just like that, folks, the Seahawks only had the ball for like a minute. Ooh. Nick Bosa had a block on that, so that was good. Punt is away. Boom. Here we go. All right, fair catch is called. And right around the 35-yard line. And there's a flag call. Well, that's going to be on Seahawks because the Seahawks player, Blount, number 35, touched the punt returner. Let's see real quick. Did he touch him? No, he's pushed into him. I don't know if I call that a flag. He was pushed into him there. Oh, they're still going to call it. Nope, that's okay. Interference there, so that will help the Niners get better field position. And you see Pete Carroll chewing gum, folks. Chewing gum right away. That's fun. All right. I'll be right back, folks. All right, folks, I'm back. All right, here we go. 2nd and 9 at the 49-yard line of the Seahawks territory. Purdy hikes ball, throws it, got a man, and he's gets about 3 yards to Brandon Ayuk pass to. 3rd down coming up with 90 seconds left in the first quarter. 49ers lean at 7-0. And folks, for news for the Seahawks defensive nose tackle, Mo is out for the game. 3rd and 6, the 49ers face. Can the 49ers convert here? Let's see, folks. It's a big play here. Big play. Let's see. Who will come up? Who will come out top? Who will come out on top? Let's see. Purdy. Blitz package coming up. Here comes a 5-man rush. Throws. Got him in wide open. Wow. Purdy getting a job done. Oh, but there is a flag called. Well, that's not great. Looked like a full start, maybe. Nope. Holding called on the 49ers. Holding has been called. Reset the 3rd down. Oh, boy. That hurts the 49ers big time. Let's see here on the folks. McClingy, he was on. Number 69 for the 49ers. Oh, yeah, that's clearly. Looks like he grabbed his a little bit of face mask there, too. He grabs him right under the helmet, folks. He grabs him right under the helmet. That's clearly holding and then gets on top of him. So that's definitely a flag. All right, 3rd and 16 with less than 40 seconds to play in the first quarter. 49ers leading at 7-0. 3rd and 16. Purdy hikes ball. 4-man rush. Here we go. Facing pressure, throws it. McCaffrey gets it. And he's definitely short of the 1st down marker, but he gets some yards, so he'll be back. It'll be 4th down coming up, folks. Definitely not going to go for it. Oh, Purdy wants to go for it. It's like 16, 15 seconds, 13. I don't think they'll go for it. 10, 9, 8 seconds left. 6, 5. He's just going to kill it. No way he's going to go for it. He got him offside. Are you kidding me? What is this? Oh, my goodness. It's like watching Aaron Rodgers out there. Oh, my God. Why? Why? All right, let's see the call. There's an infraction defense. Well, that catches the Niners break as the first quarter ends. Boy, you got to do a lot better than that of just not going. You cannot go when the clock is ticking, like with 3 seconds left. You got to wait. Good idea by Purdy. Though. So that ends the first quarter. Hold up. Let's see. Refs make an adjustment. Nope, I don't know what the ref is asking. So we'll be the end of the first quarter, folks. 49ers lead at 7-0. And the 49ers have the ball. But it is a 4th down. Yeah, it's 4th down. So they'll be definitely short. They'll definitely be short of getting. They're definitely short of getting 1st down. So we head to the 2nd quarter, folks. Folks, if you've not done so already, please leave a like on this stream and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. The goal is to get to 230 subscribers by the end of this year. That's the goal right now. All right. Oh, while we're in commercial break, let me show you guys. Let me share my screen. So do this much easier. That's not what I wanted. Share screen. All right, so share the screen. Woohoo! All right, so let's go back to where I was talking about the Packers trying to make it to the playoffs. Fun stuff. All right, so according to, hold on, give me 1 second. Gotta use another site. 1 second, folks. All right, so according to NY Times, they have a 6% chance of making it to the playoffs. All the Packers have to do is basically win out and get help from teams. So these are the must. Technically, the Packers can afford a loss, and if it were to happen to be a loss, I would prefer it to be the Dolphins, but it really hurts the Packers' chances if they don't get that. It really hurts the Packers' chances if they don't get that. So I go from a 6% chance to about 42% chance of what we're looking at here, 43, something like that. So that's what happens. So then it, as of right now, for it to end tonight, since the 49ers lead at 7-0 against the Seahawks, that would be the case there. And this is another case here. I prefer the Commanders to win just based off of the hard schedule it is. So Commanders win. This helps the Packers playoff chances. So this is our rooting. This is the Packers rooting guide for this week. Is you gotta have the Packers win, 49ers win, Commanders win. Those are three. Let me see, what are the games? Prefer to have the Jets win, but it really doesn't matter because the Packers play the Lions in the last regular season week. So that one will decide the winner basically, but it would help if the Jets beat the Lions. So that'd be helpful there. Let's do this for fun. Boom, 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 boom. So this is what it. Oh, hold on. So this is what, as of this week, and what the rooting guide is for the Packers. This is what we need. I did the other ones just for fun, but the most important ones are the 49ers Seahawks game, the Commanders and the Giants game, our game. That's very important for the Packers. What else? This is It's not really necessary, but it'd be nice for the Colts to win. But I just picked the Vikings there because they're probably gonna win. Bears and Eagles doesn't really matter too. That one doesn't. This is just, you know what happens. That one, you know what happens. This one's intriguing. I like to see someone besides the Buccaneers win the NFC South. Lions Jets, that's another important game because, as I mentioned, we don't. The Lions are not really a huge testament until the final week. So the Lions can theoretically win until they play the Packers the last final week, and they play the Jets. And yeah, so that is the important part of the Packers of the ring guides. So with that, they have a 70% chance. All right, back to the game as we're at. 2nd and 10, as Geno Smith misses an incomplete pass intended for DK Metcalf. Let's see this route once again. All right, so he's going out there. Nothing. Yeah, nothing there. Maybe a little holding there from DK if you want to call, but there's nothing. There was nothing for Geno throw there. All right, 2nd and 10 at your own 25-yard line. Here we go. Hands off to Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker gets some yards. Gets about close to 5 yards. 3rd and 5 coming up. Seahawks have 11 rushing yards in this game. Interesting. All right, here we go. 3rd and 5. At your own 30-yard line. Here we go. Pressure from Boza. Dumps it off to Homer. Homer's got room. He's going to fight for the first, and he's just short. So he had a chance, but he's just short. He got tackled up by Fred Warner. 4th down coming up as the Seahawks go 3 down once again. Seahawks get nothing, and they've had no chances of. They haven't even reached the 49ers territory at all. That's just a shame right there. He definitely, yeah. Homer had a chance. If he kept just going forward, he would have had a chance and not just went for the tackle. But there is there's a flag. Hold up. There's laundry on the field, folks. Laundry we got here. Let's see what the call is. 13:40 left in this. 13:40 left. Let's see what the call is. Well, it is on the Seahawks. I believe it was taunting, I'm guessing. Yep, taunting on DK Metcalf. Let's see. Oh boy, DK. At this point, why? Like, no reason for you to do that, buddy. No reason to do that. DK, you can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that, dude. Forfeit 16. Forfeit 16. Now that brings the Seahawks team back for punting. Here comes the punt. Let's see what happens. Oh, almost blocked there. Let's see. And it's going to be, all right, it's going to break out for the 49ers from the 28. He's going to try to fight for it. He gets tackled right off the bat, and it's going to be at the 35-yard line of the 49ers territory. But there is a flag once again. Let's see what the laundry call again is. And folks, DK Metcalf, if I just mentioned, he got taunting. So if he gets one more taunting, he's out for the game. One more taunting. It's like a yellow card in soccer. Get 2, you're out of the game. Which equal a red card. Holding on the 49ers. So that bring them back at least 10 yards. So that would be about the 25-yard line, folks. So 49ers will get the ball back with over 13 minutes left in the second quarter. And the 49ers lead it 7-0. As we reach to commercial break, folks, if you're not done so already, leave a like on this stream. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. And comment in the chat. I'd love to hear the chat come alive. I love to hear the chat come alive. Go. So as I was back to mentioning about, so since we're going to break, let me try to share my screen real quick if I can. This is where I was discussing about last commercial break of the Packers' chances. Here we go. Shared, cool. All right, so back to where I was. So currently, with the rooting guide that I have for the Packers, a 70% chance gets them into the playoffs of trying to make it. Now we reach the next week 16. Am I right? Yes. So we're in week 15 this week. As we approach week 16, you need the Seahawks to lose two out of their last 4 games, which if they lose tonight, they need to lose one more. So that's great for us. And they play the Chiefs, so that really helps us out there. Got to root for the Vikings this week, which is not. Got to root for the Vikings next week, which is not going to be fun. Not a Viking. I hate the Vikings. I just don't like them. And you got to hope for that because they play the Giants. So you got to hope. You got to be a Vikings fan for 1 week. And then you got to root for the 49ers because they play the Commanders. And you got to have the Commanders lose pretty much almost all their games. Besides the Giants one, I prefer them to win because it helps the Packers chance out a little bit more. So that's the case. This is a big game. I would just like that to happen a little bit, just so both teams are more competitive. If Eagles win, I'm just worried about are they going to be competitive the last week against the Giants, and I hope the Eagles beat the Giants. So that's where I'm hoping for the ring, guys. As long as the Eagles and Cowboys are competitive till like all weeks, then I'll be happy about that. We got this. Here we go. I mean, that would technically help the Packers' chances there. Really does. So that's a ring guide there. We got the Bills, Browns. What else? Nope, that's it for this week. All right, let's see. We're back from fresh break. Boop. So yeah, that's what we happened. And so because of that, based off the preference there, folks, they would get over a 90% chance. What's up, Mike? How you doing? Let me check my phone real quick. Mike, did I get your message? All right. Well, since we got, hold on. All right, Purdy in shotgun, 2nd and 4. In the range, gets a first down to Brandon Ayuk, and that's going to be around the 45-yard line of the 49ers at the first down. All right. Where are we at? Okay, hold on. All right, there's a flag. Laundry already, folks. There's a laundry already. Why? Have to do laundry. All righty. 12 minutes left here in the second quarter, excuse me. 49ers lead at 7-0, and we got a flag here. Let's see what the call is. Holding. Offense that brings it back. Bring that back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Cha-cha that. And that's beyond Brandon Ayuk. Let's see the blocking here. I don't know about that. No, I wouldn't consider that really blocking there. I wouldn't even consider that legal blocking, but it is what it is with the refs. They make the calls. All right, here we go. Less than 12 minutes left in the second quarter, folks. 1st and 18. Wow, that's going to be... Yeesh. All right, here we go. Birdie and shotgun. 4-man rush. Here it comes. Facing pressure. Gets rid of it. He's got Kittle. Kittle trying to fight some yards. And he gets close to the 50-yard line. He's at the 48-yard line. Second down coming up, folks. Second down coming up. Second down coming up, folks. Purdy is 11 for 11 right now. That is amazing, folks. That is amazing. Purdy with 98 yards and a TD to George Kittle earlier. But McCaffrey's been doing pretty good in this game, folks. If you're fantasy owners, if you're a Christian McCaffrey person out there, he's doing pretty well out tonight. He's been making a bunch of catches and gaining a bunch of yards. He has at least 5.5 fantasy points in it. Facing pressure, Purdy gets hit. Incomplete. Intended for McCaffrey. I just talked about McCaffrey. 3rd down and 9 coming up, folks. Is that Jamal Adams, if I'm correct, or is that Diggs? Nope, that was Diggs. Excuse me. Well, McCaffrey was open. He overshot it, but that's because of that late hit that was because of the hit he got. Yep, Diggs got the tackle there. All right, 3rd and 9. 49ers at the 47-yard line. Purdy and shotgun. Will we see a 5-man rush? Let's see. 5-man rush coming. Here we go. Pressure. Purdy gets rid of it. Incomplete. Intended for Brandon Ayuk. 4th and 9 coming up. And the 49ers go 3 now, folks. This is going to be a fun ball game, folks. Fun ball game. All right. Less than 11 minutes here in the second quarter, folks. The Seahawks did get the ball first to start the game, folks. The Seahawks did get the ball. All right. Well, here comes the punt unit. Will we see a fake punt? Probably not. We probably won't see a fake punt, but let's see what happens. All right, here comes the punt. It is away. Fair catch is called, and the Seahawks get it around their 19-yard line by Tyler Lockett. Woohoo. Oh, they're showing the fish in Seattle. Woohoo. Ugh. Fun. All right, commercial break, folks. How is the chat doing tonight? How's the chat doing? All right. Now, where was I back with the stuff? Hold on. Let's see if I can share my screen real quick, because I'll talk about it once again of this Packers chance of making the playoffs, even though it's unlikely. But hey, you never know what can happen. Anything is possible in sports, and that's the beauty of it. That's just the facts. All right, so where were we? We were on week 16. It was a 91% chance coming up. All right, Bucks. I hope they lose. Broncos going to win that probably. Steelers, why not? Because the Raiders always mess up. Jets, because why not? Chargers will go for them as long as Justin Herbert takes care of business. So then we get into week 17, folks, which is the fun part. So as we get into week 17, the Packers have an 88% chance of making it to the playoffs as of right now for a wild card spots. This will be fun. Cowboys, most likely to win. Falcons, most likely. Ravens, as long as they take care of business and Lamar's back, they'll do fine. Lions and Bears. I hope the Bears win because why not? That's actually would help the Packers out a bit because, again, as I mentioned, the Lions, they really don't matter to us until the final week, but it'd be helpful for the Lions to lose. Just help the Packers' playoff chances increase, especially for the bets and the odd makers. Jaguars, because why not? Chiefs, yep. Dolphins, definitely. Colts is what we want. We want them to win. So because of that, right then there, we have a 100% chance of making it to the playoffs, even though 100%, it's not always right in mathematicals, but that it's always good on when you get an A on your test. All right, so this is going to happen because Eagles need that. Bucks, why not? But nope, that's what I like. So this, Commanders going to win that probably. 49ers going to win that. Seahawks going to win that probably as we beat the Vikings. So, yeah, we beat the Vikings if that's possible. That's going to be a pretty good game on Monday nights. It would be a good game, but Rams aren't. So that's where we head to as of week 17. This is what's going to be. And then the next commercial break, we'll get into week 18, folks. So that will be the case. But right now, that is what's looking like for the Packers' playoff chances if they were to make it. So basically, what the Packers need to, in order to make the playoffs, they need to win out. They need to win their final 4 games against the Rams, against the Dolphins, against the Vikings and Lions. And then you'll need the Commanders to lose at least 2 of their games. Seahawks lose 2. Hold on. Smith and shotgun froze. DK Metcalf for a first down. First down for the Seahawks. Anyway, so we need the Seahawks to lose 2 games. So hopefully they lose this game, which is kind of big for the Packers because the other games Seahawks play, I'm a little bit skeptical about. I'm not. This game worries me a bit, but look at the Seahawks like opponents. Like there are some that you feel confident about, then there's others like I don't know how I feel about it. So there's that. You need the Giants and Commanders I just mentioned. Then you lose 2 out of the games. Like the Lions lose 1 game, really doesn't matter, but you hope it happens. All right. So Geno Smith, shotgun, finds a man. DK Metcalf, first down once again. Around the 45-yard line of Seattle territory, they're still in, and DK taunting a little bit there, but he's not going to get flagged. Gets one more flag, folks. He's out of the game. As he already got his 1 taunting call tonight. So we have 1 taunting. All right, well, Geno's kind of waking up, folks. If you're a Geno Smith fan or you're hoping for him to do well in your fantasy, he's kind of waking up, but he's not really done much. He's done pretty much nothing. DK Metcalf is 2 for 26. He has 2 receptions for 26 yards. Geno hikes ball. Gets DK again, but he drops it. Second and 10 coming up. Good coverage. That's how you play on DK. You got to play man-to-man really on him. Helps you out when you play man-to-man on DK. That was Ward in the coverage for the 49ers. Yeah, that's who it is. Good pass breakup right there. Good pass breakup. That is not PI. No call there. That's clean. All right, second and 10. 8:38 remaining in the second quarter till halftime. 49ers lead at 7-0. Geno hikes ball. Gets a man. That's Walker for about 2 yards. 3rd and 8. And the clock keeps running. All right, here we go. 3rd down coming up. Hey, Tyler's in the chat. What's up, Tyler? Niners have 3 starting QBs if everyone is healthy. Purdy looks great and is definitely going to start somewhere. He definitely will. As well, I mean, it's 2 games. I'm not trying. It could be a magic. It could be like Nick Foles' magic with Philadelphia, but no, I definitely think Purdy can be pretty good. I definitely think he can. All right, I'll get back to that comment in a second here after this play. 3rd and 8 for the Seahawks. Flag, something. It was a flag. Well, we were going to have a first down for DK, but I guess that's not going to happen. There's a flag. I don't know what the call was. Let's see what the call is. And it's on the Seahawks. Tyler Lockett for a false start, folks. A bunch of guys jumped off. Well, that will bring them back. Once again, penalties flying in for both teams tonight. False starts, nothing. I didn't even see a thing. That's not helpful. All right, so 3rd and 13 now, and the clock keeps running on 10-second runoff. Both teams have 4 penalties tonight, each of them. 3rd and 13 here with 7:40 left in the second quarter. Here we go. Let's see if they can get it. They're coming up blitz package here. You're going to have a 5-man rush. Here we go. Pressure. Gino, he's going to fake it. He's going to run it. Let's see if he can get it. Gets it. First, he's going to get it. First down for Geno Smith, and he gets tackled. There should be a flag there. No flag. Wow, that's not. The Seahawks bench was fired up. They wanted a flag, and they didn't get a flag. Let's see here. See, this is what I like. You got to contain him. You got to contain him because you're having 4-man, you having a 3-man come off the left side, which gives an open lane on the right side. See, what you got to do on there is you got to have some containment. You got to contain Geno Smith because he's going to run. You know he can run. Yeah, there should have been a flag maybe there for on Geno there. Definitely tackle him out there. All right, so it's 1st and 10. First drive that the Seahawks get in the 49er territory. Hands off to Kenneth Walker. He's going to get about 5-6 yards. Good stuff. All right. So what was I saying about... Oh, yeah. So the Niners, so as Tyler was mentioning, Niners have 3 starting QBs. If everyone is healthy, Purdy looks great. It's definitely going to start somewhere. Yeah, so definitely if I definitely think he can do well. I think he can do well, but as of right now, it's his 2nd game, so I don't want to get too hype on him yet. Like, we got to see him in a full season before I'm committed to him, like, actually doing pretty good. Because it could be like a 1-game wonder. It could be like Nick Foles, like how he just went off in the playoffs and then he did nothing else after that. All right. First down there for the Seahawks. I'll be right back, folks. The heck did I just... Sorry, folks. I just had to check on something. What the heck did I miss? 2nd and 8. Probably a fumble, but recovered by Seahawks. All right, here we go. 2nd and 8. At the 20. Oh, that's great. Gino throws a dart. Almost picked off. Jeez. 3rd and 8 now. Number 29 for the 49ers having a good night. Let's see. Zoom in on that for me a little bit. Oh my goodness. How do you not pick that off, 29? That's like the 2nd one tonight for the 49ers. That's 2 picks for the 49ers that they should have gotten. All right, so 3rd and 8. Seahawks are well in a 3rd down territory. And pressure. He misses, and it's going to be a 4th down. And folks, as I will hold on, we have my co-host coming on. Let's allow him. Come on.
Yo.
What's up, Mike? How we doing?
How we doing? I just turned the game on. How's it looking?
Looking pretty good. Niners are like being pressure on the Seahawks. Seahawks got nothing. This is the first time the Seahawks get into the red zone, and they're going for a field goal attempt.
Okay. Yeah, we need the Niners to win this game. And basically, did you go over the playoff situation yet?
Yes, I'll go over that during halftime too, which is basically we need the... Here, I'll go over it right now just to be fun with you guys. So, in order for the Packers to get to the playoffs, which it can be a miracle, folks. I'm not saying it's possible, but miracles, anything's possible at this point, folks. So we go as I was mentioning, we've already gone to 100% based on the stuff.
You're using that now, huh? The New York Times simulator?
Yes,
That's the best one.
it is.
Recommendation, anybody on here, definitely use this. It's sometimes you get a paywall though. It hasn't been happening this year for some reason, but in past years, once they wouldn't let you use it again without paying.
Yeah.
This year it hasn't been a problem. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm using like my school account, so it lets me through NY Times. When I use like my my regular email, it doesn't let me go through.
okay.
But yeah. So this is what. Let me reset the whole thing. Yeah. So based off where we were at the start of the night, we are at 6% chance of making it. The goal for us is for the 49ers to win.
Right, and we get up to what, 8%?
Yeah, we get about 9-10%.
Okay.
So then with that, if a Packers win, hold on. Increases our chances still. And then we need the Commanders Giants game to not end a tie. No tie can occur. So then we need the Commanders to win, just based off of who has the hardest schedule. I prefer the Commanders to win. And then what would be nice is the Jets to win, even though for the Lions, like we don't face until the final week, but it'd be helpful for the Jets to beat the Lions, just for base off that. And then I don't know what. Hold on.
Yeah, effectively, we need the Packers to win out. I mean, really the question here for you, Jeremy, why don't you do this? Scroll up or uncheck everything. So we 6%, right?
Yes, I got you.
So the way I think about this, right, is if we don't win out, it's next to no chance, right? So have the Packers win all those games. You have to assume that, right?
Yes. So we'll put that right here.
So if you win out, this is what worries me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, it's gone up. That's odd. It's taking so long. Usually doesn't take this long. So 52%. So that's not bad, actually. It was in the 30s. That's why I was like, what? Sorry. So 52% is not bad. I mean, to win 1, 2, 3, 5 games in a row, because we just won the last one, right?
Yeah.
Just to get 52% chance at the playoffs is pretty bad, right? You're just thinking of it that way. But I mean, I think it's possible the Packers win all those games, other than probably the Dolphins game and maybe the Vikings game. And the Lions have been looking good. So, I mean, obviously, all these games you probably could lose, probably could win, whatever. But I think there's a chance that they can win, beat all these teams. It's not like we're playing the Eagles or whatever.
No.
So this is possible, right? But still, you need a 52% chance for everything just to make the playoffs, right? So now let's start looking at this game. So what happens if the
So if the 49ers win, we get up to about like a 10% increase there.
Right. So can you scroll out or unclick this again?
Yeah. Let's see.
So keep the Packers just this one game. Let's unclick that one.
Okay. So yeah, we'll do this real quick. So yeah.
No. So do all the Packers winning because, like I said, we need to assume that they win. So So to me, let's just do that. I said get rid of the 49ers Seahawks.
Okay.
So this is the way I think about it, right? This goes to show you how important this game is, right?
Yeah.
Because the differentiation between who wins, right, is
maddening. It's very maddening to see.
Like 27%, right? If the Seahawks win this game,
I'll put that
it's literally a 30% difference, right?
Yeah.
If the Seahawks win this game, it's going to be very tough. It really what it comes down to is the Seahawks are going to lose 3 or 4 games, I believe. So, like it's not really just this game; it's any of the Seahawks game. But like obviously, this is a very important game. The Seahawks losing is basically just as important as the Packers winning.
Yeah.
So you really have to root against the Seahawks. So this game's real important. So I'm glad you're streaming it. Sorry I didn't.
Very good.
I was out all last night until like 2 a.m. at a company party. So it was a company party. Anyone went to like an after party. So it was a good time, but I'm a little bit knocked out right now. Lost my voice too. We were doing karaoke over there.
Ah,
So, but yeah, but this is a very important game. This is basically just as important as the Packers. Now, I'm not caring too much, but I don't think the Packers are going to win out. So it's probably not going to matter. But
yeah.
if we do win out, this is very important. So
Yes.
yeah. All right, so let's see. So let's say the 49ers win, right? I would say that's probably the likely scenario here.
Yeah.
What other games matter this week? It's the Commanders Giants.
This is definitely so the difference, it doesn't really matter if you prefer the Giants to win or the Commanders to win, because you still need both these two teams to lose at least two of their games. I believe. Yes. Two, yeah, they have to both teams have to lose at least two. So whichever one loses helps them out much further. So I prefer the Commanders to win, because if the Giants win, it's a little bit hard because the Giants have a worse schedule, so it's easier for the Giants to lose. But the Commanders, they also have a tougher schedule.
Right, and I also screw the Giants. I hate the Giants. So yeah, I'm a Commanders fan, because we want one team to do really well and the other team to do really bad.
Yeah,
because you want well, I guess you just need one team to do really bad. It doesn't really matter. But I think what really would help us here, and you can't do it in this simulator. If anyone from New York Times is watching, I would love if they add the tie simulation here. I don't know how that would make the calculations, but I think if the Giants and Commanders have another tie, that must really help us, I would think.
I don't think it. Well, I think it technically does. I mean, we could hold on. Let me see if I can do. I want to try this. Let me see if I can do this one. I think they have the tie. ESPN does the tie thing. So let me just do this real quick. So yeah, let me try this version real quick. So Packers win.
Yeah, but you would have the problem with this one is you have to go all the way out to the end.
Yeah, but I mean we can still do it still here. So Packers win there. Packers win there. This is assuming Packers still get it. And then we go back to a week, and then currently got the Niners. And then let's see,
If we get a tie there.
So then if they were to do a tie,
what's the Packers record right now?
Packers record is 5-8 currently.
No. With running out, so they're 9-8, right?
9-8, yeah, 9-8.
Right. So then the best record that the Giants and Washington both could have, right? Because we just need one of the teams not to beat us, right?
Yeah.
So the best record they both could have now would be 10-5-2, right?
Yes. 10-5-2.
Right. So actually, I think a tie would hurt us. Actually.
Yeah.
I think we need. Actually at the tie might be the worst case scenario. Actually, because we might need.
Yeah.
I wonder if the tie hurt us.
Well, it did hurt us when they both played each other last time. It hurt us from going from a 50. It was going to go a 50% chance if no one tied, and then it went back to a 6% chance because of the tie. So the tie does hurt us because technically the Giants and the Commanders have both the tiebreakers over us. So and if they tie, that theoretically hurts us.
Actually, I think I take that back. I'm just thinking about it more. I think one tie helped us, and two ties would hurt us, and I'll explain to you why. And if you don't agree, I mean, I just thought about this right now, but if you don't agree, let me know. So the problem is we lost the tiebreaker to the Giants and the Commanders. We lost to them, right? So if we tied either team, we would have had the same record. We would have, lost. So the Packers are 9-8 is the best they can have, right? So in theory, the Giants and the Commanders could all be 9-8, right? Without that tie. And then we wouldn't get in because, we just need to be better in one of those teams and we lose a tiebreaker or both. Even though I think in a three-way tie, actually the head-to-head goes away. So maybe that wouldn't be. But let's just assume, right?
Okay.
Or let's say one team has a higher and it's just a head-to-head tie.
Okay.
Oh, that was almost an interception. Right. So what that did was it now the Giants and the Commanders, we can't tie them, right? Because our assumption is the Packers are going to win out, right?
Yes.
If the Packers don't win out, this whole conversation is a waste of time. So we cannot tie. So that took away the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
For both those teams. Right. And there's no other situation where the tiebreaker would go away for two teams that you're in other than the tie between them. So I think that was really good, one of them. But now we already lost. There is no tiebreaker, right, in this situation because of the ties. We can't have the same record as them.
Yeah.
So a second tie wouldn't help, I don't think, because now we're not in competition with both teams. We're only in competition with one of the two, right?
Yeah.
So now you actually need one team to lose, and whoever the team that loses this game is the the team we need to lose continue moving
Yeah.
forward. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I got you.
So so I think a tie would hurt because it wouldn't give one team a loss.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think with a tie, if it were to be a tie for the Commanders Giants game, it would really hurt us. Despite like being a win out, because then, as you were mentioning, like we don't have any tiebreakers, especially if we tie them since we lost them in the London game and we lost them in Washington. That really hurts our chances. So with a tie here, it really hurts like the Packers more. So we really need one of these two teams to lose is what we need the case of this match.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. But then again, if it's a tie, then what would be the best they could do? They could be 10-5. They would be 10-5-2, right?
Yes.
So they'd be 10-5-2. We'd be 9-8, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say they lose one of those games. They'd be 9-4-2.
Okay.
No, sorry. They'd be not. Sorry. Right now they're 9-5-2, right? So if they lose, they'd be 9-6-2. What's better, 9-6-2 or 9-8? 9-6-2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because when I'm looking at like the schedule here for both, like next week after like this
fumble.
fumble. Ooh, hold on, folks. Let's
Is
get.
he gone?
Hold on. Let me share real quick.
Nice.
Let me go back. So let me. All right. So as Mike just mentioned, a fumble occurred, folks. Fumbles.
That's good.
Occurring. Let's go. That's occurring. Fun stuff. Fun stuff here, folks.
Wow, and that's huge because that's points on the board. They got only a minute left.
Let's go. Let's
That was
go.
a big hit.
Let's go.
So maybe a tie wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because I think it still opens up. We just, but it doesn't give a win to either team, right?
Yeah.
But then it doesn't give a win to either team. It doesn't give a loss to either team. Yeah, right. So I think a tie would hurt us because it doesn't give a loss to either team, and we need losses right now.
Just watching the highlight there. That's fumble from the 49ers. That's amazing. Awesome there. Cool. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah.
Get in, McCaffrey.
Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. This game, I think I don't think a tie is going to be super great. I doubt a tie is going to happen. Let's not even worry about that. But that's really what it is. We need the Seahawks to lose. We need to win out, and we need one of the Giants in Washington to do pretty bad. Now, I think the Giants have a better chance because they play the Eagles, they play Washington, they play Minnesota,
yes,
and the Colts.
Yes,
the Colts could technically win that game. Is it in Indianapolis? Do you know?
Let me double check. Let me share my screen once again, folks. Hold on. So back to where I was at. So you got the Giants, Vikings, Washington, 49ers, week 17. You got the This is at New York, not Indianapolis.
Okay. So that doesn't help, but yeah. I mean, I think it's 7 o'clock. I was just thinking about something. Here's a fun fact for the stream.
What?
This is almost certain this has never happened before. But think about this. Right now, the chances are very high that and 49ers just scored. You said that, right? 14-3?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, well, 14-3. So there you go. That helps the Packers' chances.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Okay. Sweet.
So what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. There's no way in NFL history has one full division gotten to the playoffs. Think about that. Right now, the NFC East is slated the full division to go to the playoffs. Right?
Yeah. That's interesting. I never knew that. I thought at least one division made it.
Well, think about it. I mean, in the past, it was only 6 teams, right? 7 teams was new
yeah.
year, right? And who were the wild card teams last year? It was The 49ers.
Cardinals, I believe, and the Rams. No, not the Rams.
No, the Rams won.
It was the Cardinals, Cowboys, weren't they?
Okay, Cowboys. Right. It was
Oh, no,
Cowboys.
it was the Eagles. Excuse me. Eagles played the Buccaneers. Cowboys hosted last year.
They won the East. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was the Cardinals, right? Because the Cardinals were definitely in, and it was the 49ers. So two teams. So it was the one bad team there that didn't make it. It was the Seahawks, right? Seahawks. Yeah. So so it wasn't that there. And on the AFC side, it was
I can't remember off the top of my name. Let's see.
It was.
I think Colts were. No, wait.
No, I don't think the Colts.
Cincinnati was in. Raiders were in.
Oh yeah, the Raiders, right? And then
did the Chargers make it? I forget. No, they didn't make it because they lost the Raiders.
Oh yeah, right. That game was too. So there you go. So there wasn't a West there. Definitely not the East. Definitely not the South for sure. And the North is probably
Cleveland didn't
Ravens,
make it.
right? Ravens were one of the teams.
Ravens, Cincinnati.
Yeah, but Cincinnati won a division, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be the first time it's ever happened. If it happens, I mean, if that happens, the Packers aren't in the playoffs, so that's not good for us. Yeah. But it would just be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when I'm looking at like the schedule here of like both teams, it's really like it's like both teams have hard schedules. Like you play the Colts, but that's really not helpful. The Browns, like this is the easy week I would say out of like for both the Commanders and Giants schedule at this point.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at like next week, it's like both teams have a hard time. So it goes like Vikings, 49ers based off what we're watching here. And then this week you could have this happen. So both teams could win there. And then you could have Cowboys win. And then you would have Eagles win. So pretty much with a tie, that's what could be the case.
Right.
But if one of them loses, let's say the Giants.
Right. There you go. So that's where it shows the tie hurts. Yep. Right. Yeah. Great. That's great content right there. There. See, then that's what I was thinking. So the second tie is going to hurt. But see that. But the first tie helps, and I'll show you why. Exactly what you're doing right now. Go back and forth right now. All right. See, this is why that first tie helps, because it doesn't matter what team wins this week because of that tie. If that wasn't a tie, then we'd have to root for one team. Yeah. Right. But because that first tie, then it doesn't matter which one. Now, granted, I guess the best case scenario would have been the same team won twice. Right. Yeah. That probably would have been the best case scenario because you really would have pushed the other team down. But now it basically means this game really doesn't matter. Honestly, it's basically like a seesaw, right? If the Giants win, then screw the Commanders. If the Commanders win, then we need if the Giants win, then we need the Commanders to lose a lot. Yep, right. Yep. And if the Commanders win, then we need the Giants to lose a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, when I'm looking at like. Technically for like my purpose wise, I just prefer the I probably prefer the
let me think. Commanders purely for personal reasons, but it doesn't matter which one. So
I know it doesn't matter, but like I'm just trying to look at like from an analytical perspective, like what gives me the more probable chances because you got
strength of schedule, right? So that's really what we should look at. But I think the Giants is the answer there too, right? Because obviously there's no strength. So go to week 16.
So we got the Vikings and the Giants there.
And then the Commanders play 49ers. Okay, so they're both two tough games.
Yeah.
So I would say those are probably about even.
Yep.
They're both away games too, so they're probably both going to lose.
Yeah. And then we head to week 17. This is where it gets me a little bonkers here because you got the Cleveland, the Colts.
Right. And neither team, Cleveland does have Deshaun Watson now.
Yeah, but he's not really helpful though.
Yeah.
That's where I'm blinking of I'd rather see the Commanders win because technically the Colts give a higher percent chance of winning than the Browns. I would say, no offense to the Browns, but the Colts have pulled off some upsets. So I would say that I'd
Okay.
rather have the Giants lose.
That's been pretty. Maybe that's just this week because I was continue to the next week, right?
Yeah. So then we get to the final week.
That's the Cowboys, Commanders, and Eagles, Giants.
Now this is where I'm a little worried because I'm like, are
So you're
both
right. Maybe that one game is the one game that matters.
yeah, because that's where I'm kind of determining of all right, will the Eagles or the Eagles or the Cowboys actually show up and fight for a position? I definitely know the Cowboys are going to fight for one. I'm wondering if the Eagles go. So where that brings me to is the Week 16 Christmas Eve game. I'm actually hoping the Dallas Cowboys win this game because then it kind of gives a closer advantage. So then Philadelphia is forced to keep playing their starters in the league.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. Right, because it's very. People would think that the Eagles don't matter for us, but like you said, it could actually be a really easy game for the Giants, right? Or even the Cowboys. Neither team have anything to play for, right? Because
Exactly.
both teams are going to make the playoffs, so it's all about seeding at this point. And also, you kind of want the Vikings to keep winning. I know I hate to say that, but
Yeah.
no, it's true because if the Eagles get too much of a cushion on number one seed, and I don't really think any other team has a chance at the number one seed, right? Other maybe the Cowboys.
Yeah, maybe the Cowboys or San Francisco is a little bit up there, but I would really just say Minnesota and Cowboys have the best chance of getting up there.
So the answer, guys, is you got to put your pride aside. If you're this is only if you think the Packers are going to win out. Right? All this stuff means nothing if the Packers don't win out. But I think we got to put our pride aside and root for the Vikings to win because they play the Giants. Who did the Vikings play this week?
Who play this week? Eagles or Cowboys?
The Vikings play the Colts.
Yeah.
So you would think that you would want to root for the Colts. There's no downside, but I think you should root for the Vikings, and I will be. So I mean, to me, I'm okay to root for other teams that are in the division as long as it helps the Packers, and I do think it helps the Packers for the Vikings to win. So I'll be rooting for them.
Are you going to root for the Bears game too while you're at it? Because they play Philadelphia.
Philadelphia to lose, so you need to root for the Bears. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just say this theoretically happened. Doesn't really make much of a difference.
I mean, I doubt that. But
I would prefer Dallas to win. I prefer Dallas.
You want Dallas to win too, yeah.
Because then it keeps making it competitive, and then boom, that's where you get because this game is going to be very important. I want to say for the Week 18 because, as we were just mentioning, this leaves the cushion of will both teams play the stars or not? I know the Cowboys will because they're just going to fight to keep fighting for spots for the wild card, even though they're probably going to get the number 5 seed. But yeah, Eagles, I want that cushion to play. And I know Tom Grossi, who's another Packers YouTuber, wants the Lions to beat the Vikings in the division. But I'm no. I hate to say it, but if you want the Packers to make the playoffs, gotta hope the Vikings win. And I'm sorry, you gotta hope the Vikings win. It's just the facts. It's just the facts. But yeah, that's where it is, folks. That's where it is because you gotta really hope because when you're looking at let's say because we need Seattle to lose and where the score is, it's 49ers are winning right now. And we'll get back to a little bit of the broadcasting in a bit. But yeah, so we have that. And then we got we need another Seahawks loss, which then we look at where would they be playing next. And they play Kansas City, which helps the Packers out another chance there. Helps the Packers out. So then we go to another Seattle game. That's going to be an interesting game there. And we go to that. So technically, basically, what we need in order for the Packers, as we were mentioning on this stream, is the Packers need to win out. That's for foremost. If they don't win out, it's basically over the chances. So we could be sitting here next week and the Packers lose to the Rams on Monday nights. That's theoretically possible, and we will not be talking about this pretty much again because there's technically a small possibility, but very unlikely the Packers make it. If they lose one of their final games, we need them to win out. That's priority number one. Priority two is you need the Commanders or the Giants to lose 2 games. Like one of those 2 teams lose 2 games, so that'd be helpful for us. It would be nice if both teams lost out. That'd be more helpful, but probably unlikely. And then you need Seattle to lose 2 games, which is most likely to happen because this is the big testament of Seattle 49ers. And then next week got the Chiefs. So it's basically the Packers have the odds to make it. So there's a chance for them. But again, you got to win out in order to make the playoffs for the Packers, which I think they can. So,
yeah. So, yeah. Packers need to win their games, but you do need to pay attention to other stuff. And this is what I love about this part of the season is, watching other games and doing this kind of math. Yeah. And usually I've been trying to do those what do you call it? Graphics I do using this thing. But
yes,
I just haven't had the motivation to do it this year because I'm not good at lying to people, and I would be lying if I really think I believe that the Packers are going to make the playoffs. Just because they haven't shown, like, math is great. Like, we're all looking at percentages, right? Click a button, but in order to click that button, the Packers need to win a game, right? And like, do you really think the Packers are going to win a game watching them? Right? It's not just clicking a button. Like, if that's all it was math, digits, yes, no, then yeah, sure, it seems like it's possible, right? But like, just watch the Packers play football, and they're just not very exciting to watch, and they're not, like, do we even deserve to make the playoffs is the other question. Like, could it be possible? Could you, if you do make the playoffs, is really the end of it is, and we had the same conversation when we had Carson come on, right?
Yeah.
I had the conversation back then. I'll bring it back up. Like, is it possible? Sure. I mean, that's great. But like, even if you get there, you think this team's going to go on a run? Like, we need to win 5 straight games just to get to the playoffs. Then you need to win
at least
4 straight games to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So that's 9 games, right? And yeah, it would be great to have a playoff game, right? But like, no one's here to go to the playoffs and lose in the playoffs, right? Like, we're here to win a Super Bowl, and if this is our top thing right now is just to get a playoff game, like, that's not what the Packers are, And that's kind of why I wanted just to tank, honestly. And I get it. It's not as easy as just tanking because then it would be like what I said. It's like it's just hitting a button. You just say no, and then you tank and you get a good draft pick, right? But the thing is, you have guys coming to work every day. What kind of coach would it be? Because we want to lose. You can't be a coach like that. So you got to play to win. As a fan, we're not. We're just a fan. So you could root to lose. But it's not. That's not the way you should be running an organization. Because then you come back next year and you expect the players to come and actually play hard for you. Not after they weren't playing hard for you for the end of the season, right? I don't think that's fair for people to ask for people. So I think you got to play to win. But it kind of, I think beating the Bears last week probably hurt us. I'll be honest with you. Like, I think we're gonna get a worse draft pick from it now. Like, we're gonna get the other thing is the seeding, right? The seeding matters a lot now. But there's not just the 2 games in the NFC that get determined next year because of the seeding, but it's the AFC games. There's 3 games that are determined by your seeding. So if the Packers aren't going to make the playoffs, losing that game to the Bears could be terrible. It really could.
Yeah, it could be. But as we know, the Packers, they will never tank. They never try to lose. They always try to go for a win, even when the season's pretty much over. If they still
Which
like
is
to
what you have to do. It's what you have to do. But like, some things will go. One thing will go right. One thing will go right and determine the game. Like, I wanted to see a good game. The Packers play well and then lose. Like, I'm not trying to be a fair weather fan. Like, I'm thinking to the future, right? Like, the best case scenario if we're not going to make the playoffs is to look pretty good but lose every game, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about the Jets, right? When they won that one game against the Rams, which actually helped the Packers a lot. That was huge.
I remember that. Yeah.
But they didn't get Trevor Lawrence because of it. And now they got Zach Wilson, who they're not even playing. He's like the 3rd string quarterback, Zach Wilson. I don't understand what's going on there. So winning that game basically screwed them. Like, imagine they have Trevor Lawrence on that team with everybody else that they got. Right?
Yeah.
Like, They might they might be a Super Bowl contender. I'm not sold on Trevor Lawrence yet. I don't think he's looked great, but he's also plays for the Jaguars, and they don't have a team around him.
Yeah.
Like if he has what the Jets have around him, he it's probably a different situation. So I know you can't play to lose, and I'm not saying that that is actually possible from a coaching standpoint or a reality standpoint, but uh, I think that it would be better for us to lose. That's all I'm saying.
As Mike wants that draft pick because he theoretically thinks that it's more realistically because it's better chance for the Packers to lose and get the draft pick and be higher as he just mentioned. As for me, I always go for the high and just hope until people tell me no and we're theoretically out of like not win a Super Bowl or making the playoffs. I always go for the positive. He just wants the draft pick. Is what I'd say.
No, I don't want a draft pick. What I want is whatever makes the most sense, right?
Oh.
I think that makes the most sense here. The most likely situation is that we're not going to make the playoffs, right? There's a 90% chance based off that thing. But in actuality, if you think about football, it's probably a 99.9% chance we'll make the playoffs, right? Because there's no way that anyone could watch this Packers team and think they could win 9 straight games or 5 straight games, make the playoffs, and 9 straight games win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen, right? I'd rather, Jesus Christ comes probably has a better chance of that than the Packers winning 9 straight games and go to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I understand that. I understand not wanting to root against your team. I'm not rooting against them. Like I said, I want them to be as successful as they can, but then end up losing, right? Like think about all the years where we watched the team where they sucked, but then they ended up winning, and then we did great, and we got to the playoffs, right? Not that they sucked, but they were consistent, but a few things went right, and they won the game, right? Like I kind of want to you play really consistently, whatever, but like at the end something goes on and you lose. Oh no, we lost. Okay, great. Like move on. Like it's a learning. There's a lot of fun times in the game. We scored a lot of points. There were some interceptions, whatever, and you had some good moments, but at the end you lost for the long run.
Yeah. All right. I want to bring up as we have in the chat, Jay. Thank you as always coming on the chat. He has his first question for us. What's your guys' thoughts if we were to get mathematically eliminated? Would we start Love for the rest of the year? I say no. We have a prime Raj for 2 more years. I'll go first. I think we should start Love because we need to see a little bit more. I mean, Gutekunst has already mentioned that he's already seen enough of what he needs to see, but I think it's just better so Love gets used to the system, and there's no point for Rodgers to be trying when we're out, and they can put him on the IR because he's playing with a broken thumb. So there's really no point if they're out. No point of fighting for spots.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they should put Love in now. Honestly, if they think that Love is the future of the team, I love Rodgers, and I hate to say this, but if we're thinking about not emotion, and we're thinking about what makes sense for the future of the Packers, you got to get Love in there.
Yeah.
If they don't think he's the guy, then you're also getting help. Because then for sure he's not the guy, and other teams, I guess would know that too. But I'm watching him play. So I guess there is. If you really think he's bad, you probably don't want him to play because there's not that mystique anymore for the other teams if he's gonna be good or not, right? But he looked good against the Eagles, right?
Yeah, Eagles.
It was only one game, and I'm sure the Eagles were not really playing that hard either because they knew they had that kind of game in the balance. So, I mean, I guess they didn't really though because, I mean, the Packers kind of had a chance towards the end, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, technically we did have a chance. It was, I think the final score was like 40-33.
Yeah, so
but we did have the Christian Watson touchdown, which was like, okay, now there's something that we can cook with.
But I think that was more Christian Watson than it was Love.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a pass over the middle. Like I think it was Christian Watson's ability to accelerate and get away from everyone else that we really saw in that play.
Yeah,
impressive. He's got the speed that MVS has, just more well-rounded receiver, and that's scary because MVS was always real. If MVS could be a better route runner, have better hands, I don't see how you could stop him. And it seems like that might be what Christian Watson is. So it is exciting, and I got to give Carson some credit. I was wrong about that. I was wrong about Christian Watson. he had a slow start to the season. I wasn't counting him out by any means, but I was a little bit frustrated with him. I'll be honest. But he's came on, and I'll eat my words on that one. I'm not saying I was against him. I obviously root for everyone in the team, but I just didn't
Yeah.
see a beginning of the season, and I was
Yeah.
just making it opinion based off what he was showing on the field. But
Yeah.
I'm glad he's turned it around because he looks real good. Like he definitely can. You could see the speed on he has is unmatched. No one on the field has his speed.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he can. If I were to put him like, he could be a Devontae Adams, even though I don't think he can be, but he has potential to be. But I really think
I
he's like a Jordy Nelson with speed, though.
I don't think he's Devontae, and I'll tell you why. And I'm not saying he can't be as good as Devontae. I think he could be as good as, and honestly, maybe even better. And the reason why is he's just a completely different receiver. Where what was Devontae Adams' special sauce? It was the ability to make separation based off his feet, right? His footwork at the line. I think Devontae probably has the best footwork of any receiver I've ever seen at the line of scrimmage. And he's a really good route runner too. So he's like what do you call it? A craftsman, or I can't think of the analogy I'm trying to think of right now. But he just sharpshooter, I think is what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Right, like where he's very meticulous about his footwork, and that's how he gets separation from people. He's not going to win anyone in a race, probably. Like, I'm not saying he's slow, but he's not fast like MVS was, and Christian Watson is now. But he gets open from his footwork.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a touchdown. Nice.
That's
21-3. All right.
Let's go.
That's good. That's good. This Brock Purdy guy is looking good for Mr. Irrelevant.
At this point, like anyone who the Niners put behind the pocket, they're just gonna do fine. At this point, they're gonna do fine.
See,
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll go into something after this. I'm not going to lose. I'm not done with this topic. I think it's a great question. So back to Christian Watson. He seems like MVS was just really fast, right? You'd run a go route and hope you'd catch it, right? Because if you throw a great ball, you drop it. So it's not great being fast if you can't catch the ball or run routes. Christian Watson, on the other hand, is really fast, and it seems like he's not a bad route runner. And obviously, he's new, and he's going to improve on that. But he's definitely light years ahead of MVS ever was right now. And other than that one drop he had against the
Vikings
week 1, which that was his first game of his career, literally the first play of his career, right? And he blew by the guy. It was wide open. I've never seen that on the first play of his career, but he dropped it, right? And that was the killer there. But we probably would have loved him if he caught that ball, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, he hasn't had drop problems recently, and it's been consistent. I mean, he's got 4 touchdowns in the past 4 games? No, more. He had 3 touchdowns, then 2 touchdowns. I think he's like 6, 7 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, I think he is.
Then again, he's really the only Packers receiver we got right now without Romeo Doubs, and I think when Romeo Doubs comes back, that's gonna be exciting to watch. Both those players on the field at the same time.
He should be playing Monday. Dobbs should be.
Okay, so I'm excited to see that. See, that's what I'm looking forward to. Stuff like that, developmental stuff, individual players' development. That's what this is an opportunity for these last few games. So these are very important games, even if they're not for the future of the Packers, to have these young players develop. And that's what I think they should be. It's basically like preseason games, right? Because what benefit do you have by putting Rodgers out there, right? Rodgers is old. He's not doesn't need to grow and get better at his craft, right? So he's there to win, right? He should be your best chance to win to go to the Super Bowl. That's out of the picture now, likely, right? So what is the best thing to do right now with our games that we have? Use this as opportunities for the young guys to get better. So next year when the games matter, they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Right? And look at Jordan Love, right? Jordan Love, the worst position, this whole situation, who's the worst off? In my mind, Jordan Love. Like, he needs to play. Look at Brock Purdy, right? Jordan Love was a first-round pick 3 years ago, right? Brock Purdy was almost not drafted, right? And he's getting his opportunity now, and he's showing the world that maybe he's not bad, right? And maybe he'll get an opportunity somewhere like Matt Flynn got, right? Jordan Love's not getting that opportunity. Like, and he's only getting older. Like, he needs to get some playing time for his own sake, right? Like, maybe it's okay. I mean, maybe he's an imposter. He sucks, and he doesn't want. It's good that no one knows if he's good. But if he's a great quarterback, like look at Jalen Hurts, how much money he's making for himself by playing, right? And he got picked after Jordan Love, right after, like the next round. And in order for Jordan Love to get paid big money, he needs to play.
Yeah, which is going to be the big question coming into this offseason. Is like, from what I've heard from Ken Ingalls, who's on like the Packers, like he has his own Twitter and does like the Packers salary cap for fun. He's talked about the Jordan Love situation of the 5-year option. When I've looked at his stuff, like they really can't afford to take Jordan Love's 5th year. They have to give him a contract, which then brings you to the question: do we move on for Rodgers or do you move on from Jordan Love? And what I think is probably going to happen is they're both going to stay next year, and then after that, they go with Jordan Love is what I'm going to think.
So next year's his 4th year, right? So he's already under contract next year.
Yes, because
Right.
he's already under contract for next year. It's the 5th-year option because he's a first rounder from that 2020 draft, and he signed for that contract deal.
Yeah, I mean, and Jay said that developing rapport with the young receivers is the benefit of keeping Rodgers playing. I get that, but I mean, he's also had how many games have we played so far? 13 games.
Yeah,
to generate that rapport. So, like, what is another 4 games going to do? I think we need to give Love some opportunity. And also, because if he plays really well, maybe there's a trading partner for him, right? It's going to be hard to get a lot back with him without seeing anything on the field. So,
but then what do you do? Like, well, then with Rodgers, you have like 2 years, and then if you trade Love, so then what do we do then? Like, when Rodgers retires, and then you don't have Love, who do you have a quarterback?
Well, yeah, I know, I get that, but that's the question. You're assuming that Love is the guy, right? If he's not the guy, then you have to move on. Yeah. That's the question. I don't know if he's the guy or not because we haven't seen him play. They know more than I do.
Yeah.
Pick 6. What the hell is that? Oh, but there's a flag.
Dang it.
But that was a bad pass. What the hell was he looking for? Look at that. If that stands, this game's over. They're not coming back from 27 points or 24 points.
Oh, let's go.
Roughing the passer.
Dang it. How many times has the Packers been killed on that? Oh, wait, a bunch of times. I can remember that.
Was it a good call? I didn't think that was a good call. Let's see. Let's watch this replay.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, that's so terrible. Come on. How is he supposed to get off the body weight over there? Come on.
This is what I hate. Ever since they made the new rule of the roughing the passer, it's very annoyed me so many times, especially seeing it in person and making me watch a tie happen because of that. It's just awful.
Because he fished him a little bit. I mean, I do see the fishing a little bit. Maybe he could have let off, I guess. All right, maybe it's not a terrible call, but it's just one of those things where, like, the guy's going after the guy. What do you think? He's going to stop himself from finishing like that? I mean, I don't know. But, all right, whatever. That's gone. But, yeah, I think that's it. So what are the other topic? Are we good to move topics?
Yeah, we can move on. What was it? Jay said they know Love isn't good. This is the exact scenario happened with Favre, who was still at elite level, but they let him go because they knew what they have Rodgers.
Right. So if that's what they think, then you can't. It doesn't matter, right? Because he's not the guy. So you might as well just keep Rodgers for as long as you can until you get a new guy in here. And that's why I wanted to lose. You get a young guy in, right?
Yeah, but there's not many like QB options when I'm looking at the draft. There's like about 2 guys.
It's what do you call it? The Alabama, Ohio State, CJ Stroud.
No, that's from Ohio. The young kid, somebody young. I can't remember something. Oh, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, yeah.
So if the Packers were to tank somehow, then they could probably end up with like CJ Stroud at most.
Right.
That's the only question I have is like, what do we do here for if like you want to get rid of Love, so then we're basically gonna have to like go in like a whole rebuild season for like 1 year, and then we'll see what happens.
Right. And I think that's going to count because the problem is the Packers have this Rodgers contract in, and you cannot. There's a lot of pain to be paid with this contract. It really is.
Yeah, yeah, there is, definitely is, definitely is. Oh, good God. But yeah, so the 49ers winning right now, folks. Let's go 21-3. Wasn't a pick six because of the roughing the passer, but it's annoying. But the 49ers have the ball at their own 38 with 12 minutes left in the third quarter. Let's go.
But yeah, so the topic I wanted to bring up, let's talk about this because this is something get off my chest. What's the difference here between the 49ers, right, where they have all these injuries a lot of years, right, and for some reason they always play pretty well. Now, they haven't been like a great team recently, like as in like the number one team in the conference, but they've always been in the playoffs and done pretty well in the playoffs. I think the difference is coaching. I really think it is. I just think Shanahan is a better coach than LaFleur, and I think LaFleur. I like LaFleur a lot, and I really hate to say this, but the Packers just don't seem like they're well coached.
No, this is a bold take. I'll say, even though this guy's won a Super Bowl, I think Shanahan's better than McVay.
Yeah, no, I think so, and I think also the biggest thing, and Andy Herman brought this up, so I don't take the credit for it, but the biggest sus thing about LaFleur, right, is his hiring.
Yeah.
What hiring has he made that's been any good?
Rich
Especially
Bisaccia, that's the only one.
But Bisaccia was basically everyone else telling him to do that, right?
Yeah. Well, there was
the whole world telling him to and okay, all right, yeah, I'll do it. I'll hire because, but he hired two other guys, right?
He hired Jerry Gray, who was a defensive backs coach.
Right, but the defense, and I thought that was a good hire too. But the defensive backs have sucked this year, so I don't know. He's not that great of a coach. Like I think I think LaFleur is a very likable guy, and I do really like him. Like, I think he's awesome. I think he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
And I really want to like his coaching, right? There's a difference between liking somebody as a person,
yes,
right, and liking them in their job.
Yeah.
Right. No, in their job, right, as a coach, right. So his job is a coach, right? Like, he could be an amazing person. I think I'm an amazing person. I think you're an amazing person, Jeremy. But I don't think that we should be running the Packers coaching, right? Because we don't really know football that way. I mean, we do. We're talking about it. But if you put me in front of having to teach a team, right, I wouldn't know what I'm doing, right? Like, I've never done it before. So I'm not saying he's that bad. Obviously, I think the Packers are good. And he's got a great record to start his career. But also, he had Aaron Rodgers, right? And as two MVP seasons, Aaron Rodgers, right? Which isn't really LaFleur, right? Because that's Rodgers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I probably would, as a coach, it's like a realtor selling a beautiful house, right? Like, someone's gonna pay for you, Jeremy, or me as a realtor. It doesn't matter who the realtor is; it's the house. The question is if you get a shit house that no one wants, right?
Yeah.
Right. Can the realtor sell it, right? Because he's that great at being a realtor. That's the test of a realtor, is giving him a shit house and can you sell this? And he sells it for more money than you ever expected. Great, thanks. You really did a great job, realtor, right? With coaching, you need to take a team that's maybe not that talented or young or whatever, and you need to build them up and make them a great team, better than what they should be, right? I don't see that here. Do I? No. Like, we have a lot of talent on this team, and they play like terrible. So at that point, it's got to be coaching. What else can it be?
I mean, well, there's some, like, when we were watching the defense last week, well, not last week, when they were playing the Bears, I can remember, like, there was some film that Andy Herman was going over with, like, it's not all in the coaches, even though, like, it could be the scheme wise, like how they're running the defense. Like, there were on Justin Fields' run, there were like about 3 missed tackles. We can go back to the Eagles game, like. So it's not all of like the coaches. Yes, the coaches mainly play an important part. They're mostly blamed, like, even when it's supposed to be the players, like it's definitely a player's mistake. We as fans, we mostly blame the coaches. I just think that like yes, LaFleur, he's a great guy, everything. There's some questions I definitely have about him, but like again, players they need to like do better. They know like they have to know the fundamentals, and that's like some of the things I get annoyed with when I'm watching this defense, especially like the team. Like there's like bogus things that you should know as an NFL player, but as a coach, you should be helping them out. Like as you're mentioning with the house, yes, Rogers helped them out. I mean, LaFleur did sharpen him a bit, like with running the new system all, it helped them a bit. Like they became the number one offense during the COVID season. But like this year, it's like you're getting new weapons. Like you gotta learn a whole new rhythm. Like Rodgers has not been like with these receivers like forever, like how he was with Devontae Adams, Jermichael Finley, Randall Cobb. You know, Cobb's still there. Like this is like a new system for him, and he's got to kind of get used to it. Like he's got to get adapted. Like next year will be like a better result though. But like the defense side, like we want the defensive coordinators fired, and like it's not going to be solved until the players understand how to like do their jobs better.
Yeah. I think Barry needs to go after the Gibbs. You need to make a statement. You can't have a defense with this talent lay an egg like this. I think that's and look, the defense may not necessarily be on LaFleur, but he's the head coach, and the buck stops with him. And if the defense sucks, he should have Barry say, "Hey, Barry, you're not fucking, what's going on here?" Like he should be holding him accountable. And that's not happening, and the team's not getting better. It's not like this defense doesn't have talent. It's not like they're riddled with injuries. Like honestly, there hasn't been that much injuries. Like
No.
I see a defensive group that's not playing cohesively. You have a lot of talented players, Kenny Clark, Jair Alexander, not playing up to their potential. You have players that you re-signed that were supposed to be really good, like Rasul Douglas, not playing up to his potential. And the players that are playing the best on this team are Rudy Ford and Keyshawn Nixon, who weren't even on the team if it wasn't for probably Rich Bisaccia or them picking them up because somebody dropped them.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's very uncohesive of a group. And if the team's not playing as a team, then it's on the coaches.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Like this is going to be, despite what the outcome is for the Packers, whether they like lose out or win out, make the playoffs, whatever the case, it's gonna be an interesting offseason to see what LaFleur does at the defensive coordinator position, because we remember with Mike Penn, the former defensive coordinator, as Jay mentions in the chat, as he should be a long-term answer. I didn't think so, but we definitely saw he took a lot of heat of like how he didn't make the adjustments of stopping the run in San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. That took a lot of heat, even though like he helped build the Packers defense a lot in his first year. And then it just like again, like it could like the Packers definitely have the talent. Like first year when we had with Pettin and Barry, like first year was great. Like last year was like actually good defense. And then you get in the second years, it just gets worse and worse. Like that's what I'm wondering, like from a coaching perspective, is like, is it just the coaches or is it the players mostly? And I think like definitely the coaches play a lot of the part in it. And I just don't think Barry's the answer. I think he needs to go. And the Packers need to address this position like they kind of addressed the special teams, even though special teams hasn't been great that much this season. It's a bit better, but defensive coordinator is like your number one priority if I'm the Packers. Well, number two besides Love and Aaron Rodgers' scheme, but the defense coordinator is the number one position I kind of target this offseason.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But no, it worried some about the coaching here, and I thought we had that problem fixed. I really thought LaFleur might be the guy, and it's still possible. Oh, is McCaffrey hurt? Or you just mad that I guess he's just mad he got tripped up. Anyway, but I think we've taken a step back in coaching, and I think another thing that Nathaniel Hackett, right? He's in Denver now, and he's doing terrible.
Yeah.
But Evero, their defensive coordinator, the Packers passed up on him as another bad hiring decision, right? If we didn't hire, right? So like, I can't think. Can you think of one good hire LaFleur's made? Hackett, right? You'd probably say Hackett as offensive coordinator, but Hackett doesn't even seem like he's a good coach when he's and a head coach, right? He's the reason why the Broncos are falling apart. So I think Hackett on the Packers was more of a cheerleader than anything. Like he was really good. He has a great personality, and he was really good as being second fiddle, right? Not running the team, but just like, keeping everyone's morale up, like good team cohesiveness, having like these like the goals up, and just creating like these terms of like be like rally cries, right? And I thought that was a great role for him. Actually, I thought like that really helped us, and we're missing that because I don't think. Why am I blanking on his name? Adam Stenovich,
Yeah,
right? I don't think he has that personality whatsoever. He seems like he's a very like blank guy, blank
yeah,
personality, pretty boring to listen to. And I think we lost that big. Now he might be a better football mind. I'm not sure, but Hacker was really good at getting people like him and get the morale up, which I think helped us a lot, right? It
yeah.
seems like the team doesn't have much morale, honestly. I don't know what you think, but yeah, half of having a successful team is having a good morale, make people excited to come to work, excited to play together. And that, when you build that team bond, that brotherhood between all these guys, then it's not about money anymore. It's not about just coming to work. It's more than that, right?
Yeah.
It's winning, doing something together, having fun, and that's what needs to be there. You can't win if you're not having fun. And does anything on this team make it look like the Packers are having fun when they play?
The only person I can really think of is Christian Watson. That's the only person because he kind of makes it fun. Like when he's scoring the TDs, I mean, just the touchdowns. Like he's the only guy I'm really seeing like happy. Like really, no one else I'm seeing like the defense a little, but like that's like the only person I consider really. If you want to argue, but yeah,
That's it. And I don't know. Did you watch the Lions when Jameson Williams scored?
yes,
He like was freaking out on the sideline that he scored. Like that was awesome. That was like one of the best moments I've ever seen on a football field. Like he was
yeah,
like so happy. You could see his face like so. He just had the biggest smile on his face that he caught that touchdown. Probably because he's went through so much coming back from injury. But like
yeah,
I was super impressed. I really was. He had that huge smile on his face. He just looked like it was a great time, and I'm sure he's gonna be a great player because that type of mentality is what makes people great. That's what differentiates people from being very talented and then achieving greatness is the mentality.
yeah,
Devontae Adams had a great mentality and has a great
yes,
mentality. That's why he's so good. Question I had, and that's why I was really disappointed back when he pushed that guy was
yeah,
that was not what I knew. What I love about Devontae Adams is his mentality, and I saw something completely different that day. And maybe he was just having a bad day, and obviously he was having a bad day because he
it's
didn't play.
probably yeah. The emotions got
He
too
let
high.
the emotions get to him. I think that's what happened. And I said that at the time. He probably just got his
Yeah,
emotions get to him, but you just can't let that happen. You
yeah,
can't let your emotions get to you and you hurt somebody. You can let your emotions get and storm out and be like, whatever, like screw you guys, and then come back the next day like, sorry, I shouldn't have acted that way, whatever, right? But when you like push someone down like that and like almost hurt them, that is where I think that crosses a line. But it was a mistake. Like I don't think Devontae Adams is a bad person.
mm-hmm.
But his mentality makes him great.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers' mentality makes him great. He goes to work, puts his head down, wants to learn. I think Rasul Douglas last year, his mentality made him not
yeah,
great, made him really good. Everything I heard was this guy's in the weight room all day. He's in the studying. Like as football is really important that he study. It's unlike other sports like basketball, right? You don't really need to be that smart to play basketball, right?
no,
You have like pick and rolls and some plays that they run, but
yeah,
you could be a great player like LeBron James and just run the game yourself. It doesn't matter whether football is too much of a team sport,
yeah,
not to be a master of your craft.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, definitely. No, I did want to go back to where you mentioned about LaFleur hires. The only one I can kind of consider, if you want to say, who's not on the Packers anymore, is Luke Getsy. He was the Packers quarterback coach.
yeah,
That's
yes,
that's the only one I kind of can. Him and Hackett are the
and,
only ones I consider that were good for us.
yeah, and he's doing good in Chicago.
Chicago.
Like, yeah, and it looks like he was one of the top guys we had in that staff last year.
Yeah.
I was great. I agree with that. Yeah, was Getsy a LaFleur hire though?
I think he was.
At the team already.
No, I think he was already
Okay.
because because they wanted to clear the whole because you remember I forget the old guy who was the original during Rodgers with Mike McCarthy. I forget. It's like the guy that Aaron Rodgers loved. It's not the guy now, but it's like
Van Pelt.
It might be it might be Van Pelt because Van Pelt was there.
Science, but yeah,
that's like that's what I'm thinking is like because that's when I know that I think was a hire. I definitely know the Hackett was the defense coordinator I mentioned. Yeah, only
No, I think you're right. This guy did leave. They didn't hire him back. So, Packers QB coach. When did LaFleur come on? 2020?
2019.
He came out in 2019, so 2018.
Yeah, 2018 was when he hired. 2019 season is when he started. Yeah, because that was like the whole year of like the Mike McCarthy last year. They fired him the Cardinals game that week.
Right, and I was kind of surprised that they didn't bring him back either.
Yeah. I really liked Van Pelt. I was like, oh boy, what are we gonna deal with now? And then we deal with a whole new system and like it's been a fun experience, but you wish one of those years were a Super Bowl you won. That's where the disappointment is.
So Luke Getsy was a coach prior. He was a receivers coach in 2018. Frank Signetti Jr. I don't think it's him. So the 2000. Let me try the 2019 season. I don't even remember Frank Signetti Jr.
I don't either. Oh, I see. Okay, so I have it. So 2014, he was hired as an offensive quality control coach under McCarthy. Then he was promoted to wide receivers coach. Then 2017, he got hired as the offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach at Mississippi State University. Then he comes back to 2019 in January 21st.
Right.
He's rehired as the quarterback coach under Matt LaFleur, and then he in 2020 was promoted to passing game coordinator and quarterback coach.
Yeah, totally right. Yeah, and Van Pelt actually, I think is the one we're thinking of here. Ben McAdoo is the one I'm thinking of with the Giants. Van Pelt, I was right. So Van Pelt is the one we were thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that Getsy hire, bringing him back, was a good hire. Granted, he was in Green Bay first, so it wasn't like it was a total new hire. I mean, he got him back, so it was a good hire. And I did like the Nathaniel Hackett hire. Other than that, I just struggle for somebody that was a great hire. Other than again, Rich Bisaccia.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's been a little bit underwhelming this year, Bisaccia, compared to what he got paid and what our expectations were for him. I don't think he's lived up to that.
No.
But I do think, you know, he was the right hire.
Yeah.
And if the special teams looks bad again next year, I probably would take that back. But I don't really think that's a LaFleur hire. I think that was more like, you know, everyone else telling him to do it, and like it was kind of the decision made for him. I've also seen like a lot of things like the Packers Twitter says something, and then like 2 weeks later, after they don't do that, they decide, oh, let me do that, right? Because everyone's telling me to do it in the media and everything.
Yeah.
Like it seems like LaFleur is almost a little bit reactive to what online says, which is not it's not bad, right? I mean, but then again, why don't you just make Twitter make this a poll on Twitter what we should do in the games, right? Like if that's the way we're going to be. Like also, if you're going to end up following what Twitter says and it works, why don't you just follow what Twitter says to begin with? Why did it take 2 weeks for you to implement that, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the case. I'm not saying he's listening to Twitter, and it just is odd. Like Twitter says a bunch of things about like run the ball more, and then they focus on running, and it works. Like, it's not just Twitter; it's obviously the guys, the reporters saying it too, right? Like at the press conferences, so which obviously LaFleur sees that. So, and I think he does see the Nagler stuff. So,
we saw that with Big B mentioning Nagler. Like remember what Big B said last on Pack Reacts? He mentioned it, and apparently got Nagler in trouble.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, Big B, thanks for coming on the show last week. By the way, I like his haircut too. Did you see his haircut he got?
Yeah, I did. I did see the haircut. It's amazing. Good. Yeah, that's where I was like, thanks for Big B, but like, that's where LaFleur got ticked off from what I was hearing about.
For sure. Yeah.
From like about it, and Nagler got ticked off too, and he's like, did you tell him to run the ball or something like that? I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and I tried to get, you know, I tried to put him on the spot, but ask him a few questions about it because I was curious that too. I think we got a cool nugget of information that there's some people in the Lambeau Field staff over there that aren't too happy with him, which I could see. But hey, look, I stand by Big. I think what he did was right because
Yeah.
they're not paying him. I mean, it was very nice what they did. Don't get me wrong, but he's not an employee of the Packers organization, so uh, he has that information. He should use it. Like it's the information for. He's a man of the people. What he has got a podcast,
People have
and
the right to know.
it's his job to give the information to the people, right? No, I mean I know it's not. It's just like it's our job. If we have information, we'll give it to you. We have a duty to our listeners. You guys are spending time watching us, right? So we have a
Thank
duty to give you the information,
Yep.
right? Exactly. And I think he has a duty to us, to his followers and the podcast watchers, to give that information and not hide it from them. Because look, it's not, it's not. No one's gonna die at the end of the day, right? Like it's not the biggest information. Like, is it? Rogers willfully gave it out to him, and like it's a broken thumb. It affects what we're watching, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I think it's information that should be shared.
Yeah.
If you give it to somebody of the media, again, everyone's of the media right now. The media is a made up term. Paid media, right? Like you follow Tom Clements, I think it is. No, Tom Clements.
Yes.
Tom Clements is the quarterback coach.
Tom Silverstein.
Tom Silverstein, yes.
Yeah.
I follow him. He's a good source of information. I think he works for the paper in Milwaukee. I believe.
He does. He works for the
Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Yep. So half of his tweets, if anyone follows Tom Silverstein, and I apologize if it's not Tom, it's somebody else, but I believe it's Tom. Half of his tweets are about the Packers, and the other half about like the employment issues of like the Gannett, like the owner of the conglomerate that owns all the newspapers, like not paying them enough, not giving them a big bonus, like firing people, whatever. Like, and I'm sure it's very true. Like, I'm not denying that, but like, I don't know. I just don't think that you should put that on your readers, right? Like, it's not your readers' fault that this is happening, and like, I don't know. I just feel like they're using their platform to push their narrative about their employment issues, which is whatever. But that's like your problem. Like, figure that out between you or get another job. Like, don't complain to everybody else. Just me.
Yeah.
Again, you can think what you want about that, but I just feel like every other day I see what do you call it? A tweet about their union or whatever, and like whatever, it's his account. He can do what he wants, but I just like don't think it's relevant. But what was I even saying on that? Yeah, right. So those guys, right? What makes them different than us, right?
Yeah.
It's that they have like the press pass, right? That they can go and talk, right?
Mhm.
Like Tom Grimes, like also like no one watches us other than Jay and a few other regulars, which we appreciate. But like no one really cares about our opinion, and if you do care about our opinion, please let us know. I love to hear it. It'll make me feel good. But no one really cares about Tom Silverstein's opinion or Rob Domofsky's opinion. Right? The people on YouTube is the people that people care about their opinion, right? Because there's no big conglomerate giving us anything, right? Like it's just us in my living room or in my office talking to a camera, right? And if you like what I say, then you'll watch. If you don't, then you don't, and that's fine. Like I'm not forcing anyone to watch. They want to watch, they want to watch. But those guys, it's like they're forced to be there, right? Like if you want to read the paper, that's the guy that's writing the article, right? Like, or he's the guy that has the press pass, right? There's only so many press passes they give out.
Yeah.
They give it to these guys. So like the people have no choice in who they want to hear from, right? They hear from who's there. On YouTube, anyone can just start. It's really media to the people, and I feel like people resonates with people, and that's why they listen to this, because it's not just some talking head. It's you, me, them. Like if they want to start doing it, they can start doing it. How do we do this? Like just start it. Jeremy, I give that a lot of the credit for you for this. Like you're really, I see that you take the lead on a lot of this stuff. Like I wouldn't sit here and just do a live stream by myself. So you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mike. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you letting me do a show with this. I wanted to do this. Like, look, I have a lot of opinions. I I like to talk a lot. And whether or not people like to hear it, that's up to them. Again, let us know in the comments if you like to hear what we're saying. But I also want to hear from other people. That's why I like getting the guests on the show, getting hear your thoughts. Hearing other people's thoughts on Twitter and hearing people in the chat. And if people want to chat, like Jay, if you want to join or anybody else that is one of the regulars, we'd love to hear your thoughts too, because I could talk all day, but that's not. Everyone else will get bored. You want to hear what you guys think too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the fun and beauty of YouTube. It's like more fun. Like you could do whatever you want. You're not forced to do whatever you want. Where if you work in the sports industry, especially in the media, you're forced to like do this. If like you want the job. I mean, Tom Grassi, he quit his teaching job for like YouTube work to do fun. He's still making it out for himself. But like when you're working in the media sports, especially with like Rob Demoski, Wes Hoskowitz, Tom Silverstein, like Nagler a little bit too. Like those guys are forced, like they have jobs and they're forced to like give the information. They're forced to do this stuff so they get paid.
Right. Absolutely. And, I think YouTube's great. So I'll start with this. So I have two favorite websites online.
Okay.
Let's see if you can figure it out. And they're all PG websites. I'm not going to get into that, right? But it's what do you call it? Two favorite websites. Let's see if you could guess.
ESPN.
No, ESPN. Damn. What do you think this is? Come on, Jeremy. What are we talking about?
We're talking about football here.
No,
I don't know, because ESPN is usually the site that most people go on for sports stuff.
Okay, so I have three favorites. So I have three favorites. I'm adding one more.
All right. Well, the Milwaukee Sentinel Journal.
You think the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel is my favorite website?
It's what? It's up there. It's up there.
No, it's not. I don't even go on that. I listen to the guy on one of the websites.
Fine. All right.
We said all these websites here, other than one. What?
She said TV.
I don't go on their website, but I do watch them through one of these websites. How are people watching us right now, Jeremy?
YouTube.
There you go. That's one, right?
Twitter.
Twitter's number two, and then there's one third one, which I also am on. Not for the podcast, but personally.
Instagram.
I do like Instagram, but it's not one of my favorites, just because you can't like get your thoughts out there other than just like pictures. And I feel like you can't like express your thoughts in pictures. It's just more like showing off what you're doing in your life, which I like. Don't get me wrong. Like it's interesting to see what other people do, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites.
Yeah. All right.
It's Reddit. Right? I'll give you the answer.
Oh, what I should. Oh, shoot! I forgot to mention to you. So, on my latest video I went onto Reddit last night on the Baltimore Ravens community thing. I put my link in the thing. Just why not? And hopefully I didn't get banned, because like every time I try to do it, other ones like they would see it for a hot second, then it gets clicked off like the Packers would.
Yeah, you gotta look at their rules that they allow.
Yeah, so I looked at the rules, didn't break any rules, and after like the first 5 minutes, no, after the first like 30 minutes I posted it, I already get like 10 likes on the post from the thing, and then like over, it's still on the thing now. It hasn't been taken down. Then they liked my comments that I put on there, and then I asked them what is their favorite Ravens player of all time, which was Ray Lewis to them, and over at least 2,500 people viewed it. Like not the video, but just viewed the post. So yeah,
that's good.
Reddit Raven fans, if you're out there, appreciate you guys, but no, I wish the Packers like Reddit would be helpful. I wish it was. I thought it would be better.
Packers Reddit's good. I mean, I haven't posted, but not the podcast stuff.
Yeah, I wish like it would let us like post some stuff. That's what I wish. Like that's where I'm annoyed.
They sit in their house all day, right? And they think, oh, I'm a Reddit moderator. Like I have a lot of power now. Like no one ever cared about my opinion before. Now I'm a Reddit moderator, so I'm going to be like a hard ass. And obviously there needs to be rules. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Like it needs to have. I get that there's got to be rules, but some of these guys think they're who they are and will be like unfair to people. So I don't like those guys. But Reddit, no. So there's one common denominator across all those three websites, and I'll give it to you just for the sake of time. But it's that it allows people to use their imagination and their creativity, right, and build something and share their knowledge with people, right?
Mhm.
Like, for example, I just moved into a new apartment. Like my furnace wasn't working
Yeah.
and it's cold, right? It's shit. What's what's going on here? So I was gonna call the soup or whatever to get it, but so you know what? Let me just fucking go upstairs. Let me get YouTube, search up the problem, and see what somebody tells me for free, right? If I called up the like an emergency HVAC guy, he charged me $1,000 just to show up, right?
Yeah.
I could go on YouTube. Some guy tells me for free. He told me shut the error I get, shut the thing off, leave it off, and turn it back on. It worked. I had to do it like 2-3 times. It didn't work at first, and then it came on. It was the fix. That's it. If I didn't have YouTube, I wouldn't have had the confidence to fix it, right?
Yeah.
And I would have paid some guy thousands of dollars to do that, right?
Yeah.
So it made no sense. But YouTube gives me all that knowledge for free,
It
right?
does.
Twitter it's not great for stuff like that, tutorials and stuff, but it's really good to just give out knowledge really quick, right? Like, Aaron Judge signs with the Yankees. It's right on Twitter. That's where it's going to be. You're not going to put it on some news article, right? You have to wait till the next day. I want instantaneous stuff, efficiency, right? That's what Twitter provides.
Well, it wasn't for Twitter wise. Sometimes not efficient when you look at the one reporter said arson judge went to the Giants and
right.
not.
Yeah, we have to have fake news. See, that's the thing. So time is good when it comes to data quality, right? But it's not good in terms of efficiency, right?
Yeah.
So there's a takeoff here where you might be giving up a little bit of data quality for efficiency, right? The question is what's more important, right? The data quality thing you'll fix, right? What happens? The guy puts out bad information and he takes it down, right? So yeah, everyone had confusion. Oh my God, we thought he was going there and it sucked for that period of time, but then it was fixed and we're okay. No one died, right? It's not the end of the world. So, but the alternative, if you're scared of that data quality, right? That one issue, maybe 99 times out of 100, no problems, right? But that one time that there's an issue, right? You're going to stop instantaneous sharing of information. That makes no sense, right? So what's going to end up winning in the end of the day? Sharing data instantaneously, because just a smart person is going to realize that's what makes sense, right? We want efficiency. We want as things right at our fingertips that we know this information. Think about back in, like American Revolution times, right?
Yeah.
Something would happen in one part of the world. The other guys wouldn't know until somebody wrote it down on a piece of paper, put it in like a horse and buggy and drove it 2 days later, they get a piece of paper saying, this place, there was a fire in this place. This whole house is gone. Oh shit. Damn. Sorry to hear that. Right. Like now if something happens, you get a notification 2 seconds later. We all know about it. Right. The whole world knows about it. And that's what Twitter allowed, and that was really great. And anyone could talk. And now there's issues there again with data quality. Now you can have guys pretending to be somebody, right, and giving out bad information to people and getting this whole uproar and like fake news, right? And that's one of the problems, right? That's a legitimate problem. Yeah. But there's always gonna be bad apples in anything you do, right? People that want to mislead people. Like we're not misleading people. We're just telling us your opinions. But that's what we say. We should put a disclaimer at the bottom. This is all our opinions, and don't take anything as fact. And if you disagree, please come on the show and tell us why you disagree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So I'm like half looking at the chat. So you want to try to get a comment?
I got you here. We'll go with Jay first. Appreciate Jay. I enjoy you too because you go with facts. I mainly go with my heart too much. I never able to say anything negative about them. You two are great. Seriously. Jay, that is me, definitely. That is definitely me. I'm always that positive person. I never like to be negative.
Jay, I appreciate that. No, seriously. And if you, some people might not want to come on camera, all good, no pressure whatsoever. But if you want to come on the show, feel free. And we'd love to have you. I keep meaning to, and this is something I got to get better at, is going on Reddit and putting a post and see if anyone wants to join, because
we got to do a lot better with our social media stuff.
Yeah, we got to get better with some of this stuff. This is not our full-time job, and Jeremy's in school. I have a job, so this is more just a hobby. So, once we get big like Tom Grossi, then we'll be, we'll go all in. But I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'm not as interesting as Tom Grossi,
No. Well, I mean, I'll tell you like how I started my YouTube. Like I was scared to be in front of a camera. I didn't want to speak in front of a camera, And then I take TV production my junior year of high school, and my production teacher got me into YouTube. He got me making videos. He got me into doing sports content. I report the news on the TV, and my one YouTube video, which was was doing a mock draft on the 2020 NFL draft, and I predicted who was it? It was Devontae Smith goes ahead to the Lions and not the Eagles, and like it started like they showed it on the TV, which every like school has to like every classroom has to watch it as like a homeroom thing. So they watch it, and then everyone's bickering throughout that entire school day of like what I said on my comments, and then I loved it. I was like, all right, I want to hear their thoughts. I want to hear their opinions. I'm like, all right, we'll go on like videos and do this stuff. And so I did, and then I first like officially published my first YouTube video, which was just predicting my favorite baseball team's lineup. And I was like, all right, you know what the heck? Why not just show it? And I just did, just showed my friends and family, and I did, and it went off well. Like it got 100 views, and that was just thanks to my parents and my friends just sharing out to everybody. I just loved it.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, you're doing the solo videos, and that's great. I got to watch some more of those. I haven't done it, so I got to try it. See, I have a fear to do it solo too. You know, I feel like it would get you know, a little bit. It's nice to have a conversation back and forth. You know, so you get some feedback. You know, if you're just talking to the camera for like 30 minutes, you don't really get the feedback. You know, it's like when I watch Andy Herman, like I'm really impressed that he does it because everything he says, I gotta say, like I like Nagler, I like Rossi, but like
Andy's
Herman is real smart. Like you could tell this guy's a real smart guy, and he's taking all the information that's given to him based off of what we're seeing on the field and giving you his honest thoughts and honest opinions based on that. And that's what I don't see from these what do you call it? Journalist guys, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're just trying to push him. If like look, Schefter and Rappaport, right?
Oh God.
I actually like Rappaport a lot. I think he's smart, but like I've seen that more on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
I've seen that because what are they doing? They're just getting information from somebody, fed them, and they're giving it out. That's all they're doing. They have a lot of contacts, right? And that's what their name is on it, so they look good. But and a lot of these talking heads on TV are just look nice. They're pretty faces and whatever. That's what. Well, no, I think Stephen A. Smith is pretty smart, actually. That's why I like those like debate shows because it forces them to actually know what they're talking about, right? Because if they don't know what they're talking about, then the other person's going to prove them wrong, right? It's like a competition. But I'm more talking about like NFL Good Morning, like these talk shows, you know, like NFL. Like, you really think that they're watching football? Like maybe I'm not saying they're not, but like I feel like that's more just like glamour and Hollywood. It's not.
Yeah.
We're into like the nitty gritty kind of stuff. Like when Nagler says, like, you know, we're the nerds about the game, right? It's not just we're here to watch it, have a good time with people, and go home and forget about football. This is our lives, you know. This is what we this is what we love, right? And we want to understand every single thing about it, and that's what I see from Herman. I learn a lot when listening to him, which is awesome for me. I like to learn like whenever someone's talking, so that's great. But also like he's very good at articulating a lot of things. I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking in my head like, what's going on with this? What I'm watching, and then I watch his video the next morning, and he's talking about it, right? Like he's talking about the LaFleur thing, about the bad hiring, right? Yeah. And he literally said, if you go watch that video, he literally just said what I said. Now, granted, I watched that video already, so you could say I'm just repeating him. But I think I've said that on this show before too. Like LaFleur is a great guy. Like there's no way you could dislike LaFleur. Like he's good looking, right? You know, I'm a guy, but still, it is. There's no denying that, right? Like he's well spoken. He's very transparent, which I love. He's just a nice guy. He's got a good personality. Like there's nothing to dislike about LaFleur, and I do not dislike him one bit. I really like him a lot. But I have to look at the quality of the play on the field, right? Because that's what we're here for. This is a business. This is not friendship, right? And it sucks, right? Like it's not good, right? So that's a worry to me. That's all. And I really want to love LaFleur because I think he could be the coach in the face of this franchise for a long time. He definitely is the guy for that, but he also needs to produce. He's himself the production business, right?
Definitely. All right, let's get to the next comment from Jay because Jay is typing in the chat, folks, which I love. Hold on. You guys get a chance to read my Burrow thoughts. I would like to hear your
Yeah,
thoughts.
that's what I wanted to reach out about it. Then we got another tangent.
What was? Let me see. Okay, you guys think Burrow's a shot? We give Love and a couple picks. It's the Bengals we're talking about.
No, I don't know about that.
I don't.
They trade Joe Burrow.
You can't. Yeah, that's the point. I mean, the only. No, I just don't see that. I'm sorry, Jay. I just don't see that with the whole like Joe Burrow's your franchise. You're not getting rid of him. You're not trading him. I'm sorry, but
would I do it? Yeah,
yeah,
I'd run away. You'd say, sure, I'd sign that paper and you would never see me ever again, you know?
exactly.
It's like you hit the lottery. If I hit the lottery, sorry, guys, you're never going to see me ever again. I'm going off the grid, right?
Exactly.
Is that going to happen? No, it's not going to happen. And even if I hit the lottery, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't run away. Believe me, hitting the lottery might be nice, but then you still got to have fun somehow. This is,
Yeah.
So you still got to me, go to work and do stuff like this because you still got to be thinking. Money doesn't help stimulate your brain,
It doesn't grow on trees, folks. It doesn't grow on trees.
Well, if you win the lottery, it does.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, that's not going to happen. And I'm sorry, bro. I don't think we're going to get Joe Burrow. I would love it.
That would too.
I don't say sorry. Actually, I'm sorry for myself that it's not going to happen because I would love that. I really like Joe Burrow too. I think he's a great quarterback.
I do too. All right. What was the next comment from Jay? You agree Rodgers 2 more years with no backup, but Super Bowl win worth it? So basically, he's saying if they win,
yeah.
For
my firstborn child, it's worth it. No, but yeah, I mean, look, I love Rodgers. I think Rodgers is a real smart. Talking about smart guys, if you ever listen to Rodgers talk, he knows what he's talking about. Like you can tell he knows what he's talking about. And I know people didn't like the whole, not to get political, like the whole vaccine thing, the COVID thing. But honestly, I don't personally like it, like what I'm about to say or not. But I think what he said was fine. He didn't want to put it in his body. That's up to him. Like he didn't tell anybody else not to take it. He didn't say that he didn't think COVID was a thing, right? He said that personally, I did my research, and for me, right, I don't want to do it. So I don't blame him.
Definitely. All right.
And the people that blame him, that's their problem.
All right. Next comment with Jay. I'm up for it. Oh, he's up for it. No idea how. I'm a full-time PE teacher, so would love to do side with you. So we'd definitely be on. Like, usually we go like Thursday nights around 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's the usual we like to do. We try to go like every week, but then we let each other know. I do my bad part. Sometimes I don't let you guys know when we're doing pack reacts. Like tonight, Mike was not feeling well, and then I set the stream, and then now he comes on. So now it all worked itself out.
I couldn't stay away from you, Jeremy. No, I like I said, I was out last night till 2 a.m. at a company party. So I slept in the city. I'm from New York, so my friend lives out there. He came to work at the same company I'm at, so that's been fun. But what do you call it? So we had a good time last night. We went to some like karaoke bar in K-Town. So that was fun. A good time. I didn't pay for any drinks. It was real good. Which is big in the city. I don't know if you're under 21, so you don't know. But in the city now they want like $19 for a drink. It's crazy. They're nuts. For like just like a little bit of vodka and the rest is being soda. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice to have a good time and not have to pay for anything. So
interesting.
That's good. But anyway, so what was the question again? Oh, how I was feeling. So yeah, I was just a little bit tired. I wanted to take a nap, but then I don't know. I'm not very good at going to sleep unless it's like really late. Like I'm one to like stay up pretty late and just like surf the internet and try to learn as much as I can. So yeah, I just I really can't go to sleep too early. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work for me either. All right, next one. Jay, once again, thank you. Appreciate the comments. Your Packers win over the 49ers reaction is what came up for me first. Love as reminding me of myself so much. So I'll go to that bit. This was not the actual, like my original, like, yes, it was a reaction video, but it wasn't the actual, which was so much better. And I forgot to record at the time, which I was stupid about. So I was on Zoom with my brother, my dad. We're watching the game, we're streaming it, just watching it. And all of a sudden, I'm going like crazy when Devontae Adams catches like at the 50-yard line, catch it, and they're getting field goal range, and Rodgers spikes it. And then all of a sudden, like people down my door and just come in because they're sports fans. All the guys just come in and just watch me. And then I'm like, all right, please. I'm on my knees and everyone's in the room. I was like, please. So it's kind of like Mike's when he was in college on that Hail Mary situation with Rodgers in Detroit. So it's like that. And the kick goes up and it went in, and then I just run out of my room and I was like, yes, I scream and I just run down the hall. I was like, yes, and I didn't care if I woke anyone, but I honestly don't care. But I woke up somebody, but like, hey, it was awesome. And then like
Worth
it
it
was worth
should be learning.
yes. And then like I jumped with like the guys, like as like a like group hug, like everything, like a huddle. It was awesome. So yeah, that was just the awesome part.
So Jay, so I think you were asking about how to join. So it's actually pretty easy. So right now I'm on my phone. I wasn't planning on staying on for too long, but then I just got on a tangent. I was just going to join and watch a little bit of the game. Yeah, you could just basically Jeremy sends out like a StreamYard invite or whatever, and just join from your phone, anything that has a camera, webcam,
Yeah.
and that's really it. As long as you have a mic, camera, it's quiet space where it's not gonna. That's really it. That's all you really need. So it should be pretty easy if you're down to come on. And then the other thing I was going to say, I noticed you said you were what do you call it? Phys ed teacher. That's awesome. And if you do come on, I'd love to talk to you about this, one-on-one. But phys ed was my favorite class. Now that I'm out of school, like it sucks not having gym because I was never one to really be that good at sports. I love sports, but I was never a great player myself. But gym class was where I kind of got my sports fix, and I was one of those gym tryhards.
Same here. Same
Yeah,
here.
see, that's why we're friends, Jeremy.
Same here.
that was my outlet of sports. So like I was like be really competitive, and like there's like other people that just were there. They didn't like me for that, like they got come on. Like there was this one girl that was a really nice girl, and she was actually pretty athletic too. But we were playing football actually, and she was like wide open deep. It was an indoor football game, and I saw her, and I just like sprinted as hard as I can to get her, and like because I had to like jump up to like knock the ball down, and she like screamed. She was like, "Oh!" and like I knocked the ball down. I didn't hit into her or anything, but like I was just one of these people that were like really tried too hard in gym. But I have no regrets and no apologies for that because I had a lot of.
For my stake, everyone got annoyed me when I was being a tryhard in gym. That's going from middle school, everyone hated me, and they still hate me in high school when I did it. I was like, I don't care. I'm playing fun. I'm having fun. Like handball was my favorite in the gym. Handball was awesome to play.
Handball?
Okay. Because in middle school, we had like intramurals. So we would go like do like teams versus teams. And what we had like sometimes in our homeroom just to like let time pass by is our homeroom would face other homerooms. So it'd be like a team, and then you do a tournament and you play off to see who's gonna win, like who's the best homeroom. You would have like the winner of the 6th graders, 7th graders, and 8th graders. And that was just all fun. So that was one of my favorite parts. And then when I got to high school, handball was still up there, but not flag football, arena football was so awesome to do because like I'd be running as soon as the gym teacher just like as soon as he let go of the ball, I'd just be sprinting across the like whole gymnasium, just running for it. But yeah, that's what that was awesome. I won't forget my one fun time I had in like when I'm playing arena football was like somehow somebody throws the ball, it bounces off like somebody's hands and somehow falls in my hands and I run for a touchdown. I was like, okay, I love it. But yeah, that was just awesome.
Yeah, no, Jay, definitely reach out to Jeremy or me. You could DM me on Twitter and we'll sync up next time. We'll get you on and we'll do a whole show. I think that's great.
Definitely, Jay. We appreciate to have you on. Definitely. Yeah. So I send like invites on like StreamYards Mike was mentioning. Usually like I'm usually like to like touch base of like email or Instagram is like where I'm really like known for like doing that kind of stuff. So that's like the best place to reach out to me. Like is usually like Instagram, Twitter, message, email, whatever. So
yeah. How's this game going? We haven't been paying attention to this. I think the 49ers still winning, right?
Yeah, we're still winning. I mean, does it really matter at this point since Jay's the only one watching at this point? I mean, we're already discussing. It's already over, basically. 49ers are leading at 21-6. At this point, as long as the 49ers don't choke, if there's 9 minutes left, we got a chance. And with that, as we were mentioning, folks, earlier in the stream, if the Packers win out, but most likely the 3 most important games for this week for the Packers are the 49ers win, helps the Packers boost a lot of chances, and we only need the Seahawks lose one more game, which is to play the Chiefs next week, so it helps us out more. Packers must win out. They need to beat the Rams. That's so first priority is the Packers beat Rams. Second is the 49ers beat. No, that's the third priority, as I would say. The 49ers beat the Seahawks. Second priority is the Commanders Giants game does not end in a tie. Prefer the Commanders to win, but yeah, that's the three most important. And then the honorable mention, you could throw up there's the Lions, but that doesn't really matter till the last week of the season.
Yeah.
Jay with another comment. Appreciate it. Greatest job in the world. Greatest job
All
in
right.
the world.
Yeah. That's great. You do that, and we're getting all our topics now, and we have nothing to talk about next week. Now I'm sure I have a lot to talk about, but so I'll give you a story. I was going to wait till next week to this story, but volleyball is like my favorite sport to play.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
Obviously football is my favorite sport to watch, but to play volleyball is just I love volleyball. So in high school we had a gym class tournament kind of. So basically. And Jay, I would love to hear if you guys do this in your school. I don't know if you're a high school P, but in our high school, so you had to win the class, right? So it was like 5 teams in the class or whatever, 6 teams in the class. If you won, were the best team in the class. This was a little bit unfair, right? Like, so the team that won, you could pick players from the other team to be on your team that like lost in your class. But, like everyone on your team had to be in that class, right? So as long as you were a good player in the class, you would make the tournament because the other team, the team that won, would get you on that team. So I was the captain because I'm a gym tryhard, right? So my team, I picked like all like the girls on like the volleyball team, and this one kid who was like really good at like spiking as a guy, but we didn't have a guys volleyball team. That would have been awesome if we did. I would have played. But he was just really good at volleyball. And we won the class, but there was like 3 other girls in the volleyball team that were in my class. So we just had like half the volleyball team in my class. And I had like half of the players on my team and that guy that was really good and myself, who I'm pretty good at volleyball too, on that team. That's why we won everything. But then because we won, we were able to cherry pick those 3 girls that were on the volleyball team off the other teams and onto our team for like the tournament. So the tournament was like after school with like all the other classes. And because we half the volleyball team, myself and this other kid that was really good at volleyball, like we just like destroyed everybody, and it was really fun. It was a great experience.
Definitely.
And it's nothing that I've been able to like. Gym. Some people hated gym class. And I'm like, what the hell? Like this is so fun, and
exactly.
like I haven't been able to replicate that since leaving school. So Jay, I appreciate your viewership. It helps us. What do you call it? Know that we're doing a good job, but you got a great job because my job, I'm in front of a computer all day. It's fun. I like it. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's very rewarding. And again, we're saying this all when you're not even on. I should wait. But it's very rewarding to have a job where, children years later on a video chat like this can remember a story like that and bring a smile to their face, right? Like, and I think there's, if you're teaching someone math, no one's going to remember you and like think, oh, that was real fun, right? But as a gym teacher, I feel like a lot of this is fun stuff, right? If people like gym, now if you don't like sports, you don't like being athletic, well, maybe it's miserable. But we don't care about those people here. We only care about sports people. Right?
Exactly.
Podcast. Not that we don't care. I hope they do well, but they're not our viewing audience, so we have to start viewing our. So, yeah. What do you call it? So, that's going to create lifelong memories for these kids, and I think that's a real great job. If I was a teacher, I'd be a gym teacher. Seriously, that's the job I would have. Honestly, maybe I still will become a gym teacher. Who knows? I'm gonna have to have a midlife crisis and make a career change.
I don't know. I mean, for me, actually, I'll bring this up. For one of my exams, I had to do this, which is like teaching kids to have like fun activities. It's like my outdoor leadership activity class. And so my final exam, I got to choose what activity I got to teach these middle school kids. And the activity I got to choose, which I wanted to do, was pickleball. And I figure like, okay, pickleball is a fun time. Keep it going. And so I explained the rules to them. Oh, like how I did it based off like a separating like the kids and everything. It's like, all right, so we're gonna do it by like how you're good of your level. Like, how well do you know the game? Like, are you beginner, intermediate, and expert level? So I did off that because I'm like, all right, I don't want to see someone like beating the heck out of somebody else of like 20 to 1 and they get bored in 5 minutes, like something like that. So I did that way and like it made it more like better. So like because like when I did that and I was playing for like I played for like the kid that was terrible because I wanted to give him a chance to like I would not be like the gym tryhard, even though I did it like on some points. But
Because
like
you're not a participant anymore. You're a
yeah,
teacher, right?
yeah,
And I think that, and I think Jay was saying that too himself. I maybe want to put the. Is
yeah,
that what you
yeah, that's what I'll say.
about the yeah? No, I definitely get that
Yeah,
because you know being the teacher, right, in that situation, I can see that it sucks for that one kid because you're not in it. You're like above it, right? Like you're overseeing everything, and I can see where that sucks. So,
yeah,
but that's hey, if that's where a great teacher comes in, where maybe you put more attention to that person because
yeah,
the other kids and they don't need you. Yeah, not they don't need you, but they're much better, right? So you give your attention to that one kid and make him feel good. One and two, teach him, and maybe he won't be. He'll get better, right? And learn. That's the main thing.
hmm
But obviously, with sports, it kind of is tough because some people just never going to be as like I'll never be, in the NFL. Would I love to be in the NFL? I'm sure it'd be pretty fun, but
yeah,
it's just one of those things you have to accept. It's just not who you are.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I know how you mentioned you want to be a gym teacher. I mean, me personally, I don't want to be a gym teacher. I mean, I don't mind it. I wouldn't mind it.
Okay.
But first, like if I weren't doing like my major, which I mentioned in my last video, sport management, I'd be doing teaching like history because I really love
Yeah,
history. It's
that's
like
good.
that was my favorite subject besides gym, especially like my first high school teacher in social studies. He was like my mentor basically. He like did announcing for sporting events. He talked about a lot of history. He would show like he was one of the best teachers I ever had, and he was my tennis coach, which I still play tennis in my college. But he was like one of the best, and like I was connected. He like always wanted you to have fun. That was the best part, and always wanted you to do your best. And he was just like my favorite teacher to this day.
Yeah, and
That's stuff.
I would have loved to have Tom Grossi as my teacher because I think
I
I
would
would have
too. I
messed
would
with him
too.
so well. So the best teacher I have. We really should have waited for this conversation. We're gonna have to have the same conversation next week when Jay joins. But the best teacher I had in high school was my science teacher. Not because I love science. I mean, I did enjoy science, but this guy was mad chill. Like, you go after class, and you sit there, we watch like YouTube videos in the class. Like, you say like that's not fun, but honestly, like, not to um, you know, say anything bad about schools or whatever, but like, I feel like a lot of the curriculum is kind of filler stuff. It just PE, great class. I love PE. That was a great thing. I would not change gym at all.
No,
Um, but like, do I really need to read all these books? Like in college, like all these humanities courses, like
exactly.
Confucius and all this stuff. Like, I don't know. I just didn't really care. Like that just wasn't me. I'm more business. I think numbers. That's just the
Same.
way I am.
That's
Sports and
me.
stuff like that. That's what I'm interested in. Now, I'm not saying I'm for everybody. I know you have a school. You have to kind of appease everybody, and you have to be well rounded. And I do get that, right? Um, but history, or sorry, so my teacher that did science, like he was really cool, and like um, he would sit everyone down, give them extra time after school. He didn't mind about you know study halls or whatever, like giving you the extra support. But he also had a good time, right? Like it wasn't just about like let's do the work and I want to go home. Like let's watch videos together. Let's watch memes. Like that was the time like Gangnam Style came back. Like and we did like fun like experiments that he'd do. Like we like uh, pogo sticked in the hallways to like learn about like the um, tension and whatever. And then I never pogo stick before that, but now I kind of like it. Like I'm pretty good at actually pogo sticking. Not that I do it all the time. I hardly ever do it, but it's actually a cool talent to have. Like not as a talent, but like it's a cool skill to have. So like that stuff like that is what you're gonna remember. And my point of this whole conversation is stuff like that's what you're gonna remember. The gym classes, the fun teacher who like gave you confidence or knowledge more than just whatever book or whatever was on the piece of paper, because you're not going to remember that in the long run.
No.
You're in college now, Jeremy, so you're part of this. I'm out of college now for 4 or 5 years, whatever. So like what I've learned after, and you'll probably see this too, you're not going to remember half this stuff. It's just to get a grade, just to show somebody, hey, I went to college and you should hire me because I have some credibility. But what really matters is the learning from talking to people and learning from people's experience. And that's what I wish they would have learned, that kind of stuff, instead of some stuff that is so out of whack. But history, like you said, your favorite, I
Yes.
think that's very important, history, because if you don't know the mistakes other people made in the past and what's happened in the world, how do you know how to move forward? You have no basis, right? Like COVID. Why was COVID so bad? For a lot of reasons, because we've never seen it before. There was no playbook for it, right? But for some of these other things that's happened, there is a playbook, right? Like
Yeah.
the economy, right? And in 2008, now we know kind of what we've done in the past. We've learned from our mistakes and we got better. So you can't learn from your mistakes,
Yeah.
then there's nothing stopping you from making them again in the future, right?
Exactly.
So that's what history gives you, is you say, I was dead. I was nowhere near being alive at this point, right? But what did these guys make a mistake back then that I could take what they did and learn from now? And that was what's great about history.
I mean, the classic quote in history is history always repeats itself, but you have to learn, as you're mentioning, you have to learn from mistakes and you keep moving forward.
So Jay's saying something. So he says kids this age are so honest, and the coach go to 0 to 22, but play the kid. So what ages are, Jay? If you're still watching, that's what I'm curious. Maybe you said it. And I just middle school, 6th grade. Sorry, I'm reading up. Okay, so that's a great year, because they're not.
That's like the transition
developed in like high school, but they're getting there. I wouldn't want, if I was a teacher, I think I'd probably be high school. I'm better with older kids, probably, think the similar way I do. But middle school, I could see, because there's a lot of value there where people aren't fully themselves yet, but they're still old enough where you can mold them, kind of. So I think that's a great spot to be. I don't think I could do elementary school, just because I don't think I'd be stimulated enough. They're just too young at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
there wouldn't be anything for me.
I mean, elementary, you get to do more fun activities and everything. Like middle school, like I remember for me, it's like kind of like the awkward kind of changes, like when you're going as a little kid and you're becoming an adult. But like that's like when you go for your awkward, that's where you go for the awkward time of like puberty, everything. It's like the awkward stages, everything. I was like,
yeah.
That's only that's only like the problem with going through middle school. But like middle school, I loved, like, my 8th grade social studies teacher was awesome, because he made, like, in our home, like, he always make it a fun activity. Like, we did tournaments for fun. We did a Jenga tournament, and everyone, like, who I'm still friends with from, like, high school and middle school, like, and who were in my homeroom, especially, like, my best friends were in that homeroom. Like, we remember that time, and we'll always make fun of my one friend, Phil, who's been on the show before, the Houston, Texas fan. We'll make fun of him because he did not hold the right Jenga piece right. And that was, like, we did stuff like that. We did tournaments of like Jenga. We won like what's it? Like we did a fundraiser thing and we won that, like, for our homeroom, like, team. Technically it's like whatever, it's like separated. So like we won for 8th grade out of the whole school, and like we had a fun day. We created like a field day. It was like you played kickball, you played gaga. We did all these activities, and everyone like coordinated like how we want to do this, how do we want to plan this out. And that was like my 8th grade teacher was like, he's like definitely on my list. He's one of my favorite teachers of all time. He always make the opportunity fun. He always have a joke. He always crack a joke. Like, he knew me as a Packers fan, and like what he would do, like, for me in social studies, because he knew me, like, I had a learning disability. He would always like make the extra, like, a Packers, like, extra credit question. So he would ask me like, who has the most receptions all time in Green Bay Packers history? And I got the answer wrong. I forget who I said. I think I said Jordy Nelson. I was like way off, because I was trying to think of like who is the guys that are. No, I think I said Jennings or somebody like that. Because I was thinking like, all right, who in Rogers and Favre's time was doing that? But anyway, yeah, that's like this fun part I like to do.
Yeah, and I'm excited for this conversation. I think it's going to be interesting. I feel like that's another great thing about YouTube, is it gives you a platform. Like, we could just have this conversation right on you and me and together, and that'd be great. But it ends there. Like, the great thing about YouTube is you could get your thoughts out there, and you don't know who's watching. Someone like Jay could be watching, some other people, and I want to get everyone's thoughts on it. Right? That's really the best thing about this, is it gives you a platform to what do you call it? Collaborate and just learn from other people and get their thoughts. And what I think I'm surprised to see too is like it's a lot of times, if you don't speak up and do stuff like this, you kind of think you're alone with something. Like, like I'm the only one thinking this, or, I'm the only one feeling this way because the circle you're in, right? Like, maybe you're the only one that is thinking that, but like, that's very micro, it's on something like this. It's macro. So you don't know who's going to watch. And, it could bring a lot of interesting people together. And that's where great stuff happens, when a lot of great minds think alike. Right. So, so no, we're excited to have you on, and we got to get. If you know anybody else, if your friends, feel free to join, because I'd love to have more conversations with our viewers and everything else. Like that is interesting to me to hear what everybody else thinks. Like I said, you and Jeremy, we could talk all day, but we'll get bored after a while. Talking to each other.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I haven't got bored with you yet, Jeremy. So that's a good sign.
I haven't got bored with you yet, and we still we've gone from watching a stream to that teacher.
Yeah, I watched the game. The Seahawks, what do you call it? They came back though.
It's 21-13, folks. I'll adjust the scoreboard. I mean, 49ers got the ball with less than 3 minutes left. All the Niners need to do at this point is to get first down or get in field goal range, and they're good. And McCaffrey runs for 2 yards.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what Tom Grassi's seen too. He's not just a football channel. He's more of a comedy channel than really football. He uses football as his top. That's what he
his getaway.
That's what he leverages himself off of, right?
Yeah.
But if he was just a football channel, there's no way that he'd get that kind of viewers, because look, half of his viewers aren't even Packers fans, right? I'm sure most of our viewers are Packers fans. Jay, I'm assuming you're a Packers fan, right? He's definitely Packers.
He's a Packers fan.
So
Jay's a huge Packers fan.
So I'm sure a lot of the people we're going to meet, which honestly, I being from New York, I don't know many Packers fans. I was actually the one made fun of for being a Packers fan, right? Because every time they lost, they gave me a hard time. Not made fun of, right?
That's me too.
Just friendly heckling on people, especially when we lost to the Giants. So that's what's been great about stuff like this, is meeting other Packers fans and not feeling alone again, in this kind of thing, because that, this is not just a hobby.
Hey.
What happened?
A first down. First down. That's about the ball game.
But they challenged it.
What? Oh, come on. Well, I'm behind you. That dang it.
Yeah. So they're looking at it. But what was I going to say? Stance.
You were talking about Packers fan, Giants giving you a hard time, everything.
Yeah. So it's nice to have other people that are on the same boat as you. You know what I mean? And not be on an island all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
If we lose together. We don't lose and get made fun of. It takes a lot of the stress out of it. I got to say, I'm not as stressed anymore because, I know I'm not alone in losing. Yeah, even the New York teams are doing pretty well this year, but now it's not. You don't feel like you're the only one.
Yeah, definitely.
But I like not living in Green Bay because
you kind of get a different world perspective.
But think about this though, Jeremy. Right? How did we meet? I don't know if JV watched how we met, but the story behind how we met was Jeremy was in Delaware doing his job as a lifeguard in the summer, and I was on vacation, and it was the morning of the Packers Vikings game, week 1, 2020 season, I believe.
Yep.
I had my jersey on. We were going to the beach. My girlfriend wanted to go to the beach. And, Jeremy was working with his mask because it was COVID that had Packers on. And you were the one that came out to me. I think he said, "Oh, you're a Packers fan?" And, but if we were in Green Bay, you wouldn't have done that.
No.
Yeah, I'm a Packers fan. We're in fucking Green Bay. Everyone is a Packers fan, Yeah. So, there's no reason to start talking to me because of that, right? I always be talking to everybody on the street. So, so living outside of Green Bay is actually cool because it's like an immediate icebreaker, And it's
world.
Go ahead, sorry.
You got well, I was mentioning you kind of get a different perspective, the whole world. You're not with Matt Ramage, who I was watching the show with Corey Banky tonight a little bit. He doesn't travel much. He will only travel maybe Minnesota, but he's always lived in Wisconsin, always going by that. But for us as you and me, we're different, and Tom Grassi and other people, Jay, you too, of we get different perspectives, and we're always being that huge fan of our teams, and we're getting the different perspectives, which is nice though, because we're always not buying in on the Packers, but Yeah, it's nice to get like a little feedback though, despite like not being a
Yeah,
Packers.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I met a lot of cool people like in bars
yeah,
and stuff that are Packers fans. They see you wear stuff and you say, "Hey, you're a Packers fan," and you could what do you call it? Have a whole conversation with somebody you just
yes,
met, right? I mean, like Jeremy, like we've met, a few times in Delaware, and
yes,
that's it, right? We haven't met outside of Delaware, so a few times. And the first time we talked, I think we talked for like 30, 40 minutes,
yeah, we did.
right? In what other situation could you talk to somebody for 30 minutes that you just met? You have no idea who they are. You don't know anything about their background without it being like, all right, this conversation's going nowhere. But when I talk about the Packers, right, and maybe it's just me getting my thoughts off my chest, right? But like I could be talking for 3 hours.
Yeah,
You've been on
that's
this
all
live for 3 hours,
I'm
right? Because there's so much going on and people care. Like the people you could tell if you talk to somebody about the Packers and they don't really know, like, oh, okay, yeah, like, yeah, that sounds good. Like, no, I don't want to talk to you anymore. That's it. That's it. This is not the Packers are not something to talk about, right? If you don't know what you're talking about, right? I just don't have time for it. I don't have time to talk to people. I do. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But it's not going to be as enjoyable, right? Unless the person knows what they're talking about on the other side. It's got to be a two-way street.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, yeah, we had like that conversation first day. I won't forget that I was working I was working lifeguard. I still work to that to this day.
Yeah.
Only in summers that, but yeah, we always like met each other. At least like we try to meet each other like once a year. Like first year that was just a coincidence.
We
Second
got
year,
Green
maybe
Bay. That's the
yeah,
other thing. You got next year. I know you're going to the Vikings game.
yeah,
Hey, just New Year's. That's the problem. Like I hate to leave everyone on New Year's to go up there by myself. And if they were doing better, I was actually thinking about going to this Rams game a few months back. I'm kind of glad I didn't because, it doesn't make sense to go pay money to go up there and watch them, not even make the playoffs. But,
yeah,
it's actually wouldn't have been a bad game to go because, like you said, if Romeo Dubs comes back, like they have the chance to win and continue on in the playoffs. Like, so it isn't a meaningless game, and it wouldn't be a bad game to go to, I think. But whatever. I mean, the other problem with you have to go sit out in the cold, to watch a game that doesn't.
yeah,
But I would have
yeah.
done it. Don't get me wrong. If I would have went if I bought the tickets. But at this
Oh,
point, I don't
oh,
think I'm
oh,
gonna.
go, go, go! Come on, come on, come on, come on, go, go, go! Almost
What's so
touchdown for the
exciting?
Niners. It was almost a touchdown for the Niners.
Oh,
The dude just had a big, huge run.
yeah, you're really behind because they were.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Neil.
Yeah, well, now I literally it was about game and like Niners that basically clinched that Packers' chance to go to playoffs. Help that out there.
Yeah, no, Jay's saying he doesn't like any other team, just players from other sports. So I'm a little bit different. I do like. So I'm from New York, and I am a New York fan for the Rangers and the Yankees. Growing up, my dad was a big Yankees fan and a big Packers fan. And that's how I became a Packers fan. But I was a big Yankees fan too, especially with Jeter and A-Rod and all that. Kind of after Jeter left, they sucked a little bit. I kind of lost touch with the Yankees. But now that Judge is here, then I've kind of came back on. But baseball's not the great thing about football is you can watch every game because it's once a week, right? Baseball, hockey, basketball.
It's like every day.
It's every day, right? And like I work, I can't be watching all these games. Also, that would be your life, just watching these games all day. There's too many of them. So what I usually do for those sports is I just keep tabs during the regular season. Like if I can watch a game, great. If not, I'll just keep tabs, see what happens. And if they make the playoffs, I start to pay attention towards the end of the season and, really care about it in the playoffs, So I don't think I'm a fair weather fan for those teams. I think it's just a realistic fan, if that makes sense, right? Like you just can't watch every game, but you pay attention, you care the whole way through. You just watch every game and really, really devote your time into it.
Definitely.
In the playoffs. I think that's realistic for those sports. Basketball, I was like you, Jay, where I wasn't a fan of any team really because the Knicks suck. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not. I was more a player fan. So I was a fan of Carmelo originally because my birthday is December 15th, so he was number 15, and I liked the Denver uniforms effectively. But then Carmelo left Denver, and whatever. I didn't really care that much. So the next team I liked was Cleveland because my friend moved to Cleveland after college. And I went to Cleveland a few times. So I said, okay, let me become a fan of Cleveland. And then I like LeBron James. But I like Kyrie, too. I like Kyrie when it was not so much Kyrie after Cleveland, but I liked him on the team. But then Cleveland kind of went to the wayside. I didn't really care anymore. Now the fan I am, and I'm not moving. I'm not a fan of any players anymore. I'm a fan of a team. Is the Bucks. I'm joining the Wisconsin. I'm half New York, half Wisconsin. Yankees and Rangers, Packers.
Oh,
I'm a Bucks fan. My girlfriend and I are actually going to the Knicks Bucks game on January 9th. I got it for her for what do you call it, for Christmas, and she said she wants to be a Knicks fan. I go, why? Let's be a Bucks fan. One, we got a good player. We got Giannis and Middleton. I think both those guys are really cool. And what's his name? Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
So I know I like the Bucks. I do. I think they're a good team. And also Packers Twitters for the Bucks. I'm for the Bucks. That's my team. When they won the
Championship.
NBA title, I started watching from, again, I didn't watch the whole season. I started watching the beginning of the playoffs. I watched through the playoffs. I watched every game, I think, or most of the games, and I was rooting for them 100%. Did I know every player? Not necessarily, but I learned over time. And am I watching them now every game? No, I'm not. But I will watch in the playoffs again. And I'm going to the game. I'm going to the game in person. So.
Yeah.
But it's different. It's not the love that you have for the Packers. I feel like in order to really love a team, it has to start childhood. It has to be something that
That's been me. Yeah.
right. And just like anything else, like I think, and that's why your job is so important as a PE teacher. Like your life really is crafted as a child, right? Like that's really when you're most moldable. And with sports, especially, like it's hard to kind of love something that much as a 30-year-old. Like if you didn't love it as a kid. It's just in my opinion.
Definitely. I mean,
But
for me, yeah. I mean, for me, I've always been the team person. I've never been the player person. The only time I'm really a player person was like LeBron because I've always loved LeBron. I've loved like because I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm a Sixer. I'm like the Philadelphia outside of it. I'm like a Packers fan, but like everything else, I'm like a Philly fan. Like Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, and like Sixers. I'll never forget. Like I love watching the Bucks win the championship, but I'm like I can't be a fan of the Bucks because like I've supported the Sixers as a child. I'm like I gotta trust the process, what we're famously known. Like we gotta do that stuff. So like I always get annoyed every time we lose in the second round of the playoffs every year because we can never go to the Eastern Conference semifinals for once. But no, it's like I rooted for the Bucks during it, but like I always like will love like the teams. I'll like love them, but like when the Sixers were terrible, let's say like during the process years, I rooted for LeBron. Just like kind of get out of my way. Like I was a huge fan of like his craft, love watching his stuff. Like my favorite basketball game, which till this day it's not LeBron's game 7 against the Warriors, which was awesome at the time. My favorite one is the Ray Allen game where he literally puts up that buzzer like with a couple seconds left, forces game 7, then Braun goes off in game 7 and wins it against the San Antonio Spurs. Like that's my favorite game because I love the chaos. So that's like the one of the things I love about sports in general is like chaos because chaos happens every game. It's so awesome to watch. Whether it's good or bad for you, it's still awesome to do.
right.
But yeah.
All right. How much longer are you thinking of staying on? I think we've talked a lot.
I don't even know. I don't even know yet.
Joey Bosa, man, that was a great pick. That's a great great player to have on your team. See, that's the thing. The Packers don't have any big name top draft picks on this team other than Rashawn Gary, who unfortunately got hurt.
Jair.
Right, Jair was I hate taking a step back this year, really. And I think Christian Watson has that potential, but that's why I was really hoping for a top pick this year if we weren't going to make the playoffs. Because look at the Jets, look at the top picks they've gotten, like Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson. I was going to say Zach Wilson, but he's not here to play. Like some of these guys have really become integral pieces for him, and they're going to be integral pieces for many years to come. And that's why we always used to give Ted Thompson a lot of grief for only building through the draft, but that is the way to do it. The way to do it is build through the draft and supplement with free agents and what do you call it? Veteran players. And unfortunately, when you have so much success like the Packers have, it's hard to get these top draft picks because you're picking at the end of the rounds. Usually that means that you won the Super Bowl, hopefully. But the thing with the Packers is, over a sustained period of time, they were so good, but they never won the Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
in whatever 2010,
Yeah.
but we ended up having like lower draft picks and never won the Super. So that success kind of hurt us in the draft, right? But obviously, I wouldn't give up that success. I just wish we had more Super Bowls from there.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. What else does Jay say? Since Jay's the only one watching here. What else did I see from Jay? I'm in Ohio. Not any Ohio fan. Loved Michigan winning and hear it all the time. Being a Packers fan, but love it. Greatest, most loyal fans in NFL. I think
Yeah.
definitely.
No, that's it. If the Packers, if you were a team of a fandom where they sucked, right? Like, I don't know. Is there any teams that has bad fans like the Eagles?
Eagles. You don't.
But I'm sure you're an Eagles fan, right? Like, there's a lot of camaraderie between you guys. So, like, I'm sure it's not a bad thing to be a part of. Like, on the outside looking in, it's probably not great. But I really do think that Packers fans is just a great community. And maybe that's just because that's the only community I'm not paying attention to the other ones. So maybe the other communities are just as good. I have no idea. And maybe we should do some research and see what the communities are like for teams. That's probably what we should. And maybe I'll do that after this. I'm kind of curious. But I know for the Reddit, we're like one of the top pages on the Reddit in terms of followers, and I'm sure for engagement too. Like, there's just a lot of creativity on the Packers side. Like, there's like a Cheesehead TV and Tom Grossi and Andy Herman Pack-A-Day podcast for all these other teams. I know there is stuff that exists. Don't get me wrong, but to this magnitude, I don't know. I'm not sure. We should do some research and try to like pull together the top. What do you call it?
Oh, I know. Like best fans.
Top content creators on YouTube and Twitter for let's just stick with YouTube for now, right? For each football team and see kind of how it maps out. I'd be interested to see that. I would have to say the Packers would be number one. Is that true? I have no idea, but I would assume that the quality of content coming out of Packers creators got to be up there.
The only ones like that took technically the title, but I don't think they did. Like, people say they did, but I don't consider it's like the Buffalo Bills. Like, ever since the Bills smashed tables, everybody thinks they're the best fans. That's the only reason why.
But that's the fandom with like the tailgating fandom, right?
Yeah,
and I'm more talking about like online, like kind of, like conversation and just camaraderie about that, because I love going to like the tailgates and the games, all that. That's very rare, right? Unless you have season tickets, and it's 8 times a year, right?
Yeah.
Compared to online, which is 24 hours, 365, right? So to me, I think it's more rewarding to be a fan of a team that has a great online presence now that this is kind of started and built up. Because again, to me, the Packers is not a hobby. It's like your life, at least my life. I speak for myself, but like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously there's more to life than just football, but like, it's really what you care about. Like, it's what I care about a lot. So to have that constant, community to talk to people, it's great.
Definitely. All right. Well, Jay has got to go. He says, to go since has to get up at 4 a.m. lift.
See, I wish I could get up at 4 a.m. You gotta give me some tips on how to get up and get to the gym. Yeah. But man, it probably requires me to go to sleep not at 2 a.m. probably the requirement there. But we probably should go. At least I'm probably gonna go too, because I need to take it.
I need to.
Probably go to sleep myself. So, all right, it was good talking to you, Jeremy. I definitely stayed on longer than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
All right. Yeah, let's head out. You want us to sign off?
Yes, hold up. Jay's got one last comment. I don't have any other social media. If you need it, can you send me the invite to YouTube or email? Let me know. However, I can join. Really enjoy it. Just leave the email. It'd be appreciated. So then I don't have to basically invite the whole community or whole channel to join the stream. I prefer like email.
No one anyway. You probably put your social security number on this thing, and it wouldn't matter. No, just joking. But just you should be able to DM the account, right? I think.
Yeah, DM. Yeah, just DM me. You could find me like on the links of like on my top of the YouTube homepage. Just look at the Instagram, just hit request to follow, like hit a message on me. I will get right back to you and send you the link.
Yeah.
So, or
Yeah.
like if you email me more personally, like I have it in my YouTube account, so you could follow me through that. So yeah, any email would help me a lot.
And and Jeremy's all on top of this stuff. He'll get back to you probably in 2 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
You reached out to Big B. You reached out to Matt Ramage. I'm just along for this is all Jeremy's show here.
We'll be going next. The person who has like the huge Packers basement cave, the man cave, the Packers basement.
Yeah, he definitely reach out. Or Jay's our next guest.
Yeah, Jay's our next person. We can
somebody probably after that. Again, I gotta reach out to the Reddit page. But I'd love to get some more people. You know who I was thinking would be a good person to join the show? Tyler Herrick, the what do you call it? Cheesehead TV social guy.
Yes,
he's a smart guy. I don't know if he's time, but I can always reach out to him, see what he says. I like a lot of his stuff. He likes some of my stuff, so not very often, but I'm sure, I don't know, it's worth a try. Okay. And I don't know, we'll see, maybe one day, but we'll see. Yeah. I mean, it would be cool to get some of these other bigger guys, but I don't know if we're there yet. We gotta crawl before we walk, you know? Yeah. So. All right, let's sign off. Otherwise, we'll be on here all night and no one will get any sleep. So.
Exactly. All right, you go first.
All right, I'll take off. So, thanks everyone for joining, especially Jay, because I think you're probably the only one joining. But yeah, thanks for joining. And the 49ers won, so the Packers playoff odds are better, and that's all we can hope for now. Let's just hope the Packers win, because if we don't win, then none of this stuff matters. But hey, at least we had fun in the moment, right? That's all we can ask for, is have fun in the moment. So. So if you want to reach out to me, you could leave a message in the YouTube, and Jeremy will answer you and relay it to me. Or you could just hit us up on Twitter. I run the Packers, the Pack Reacts podcast page on Twitter. So you can add me there. I have a Titletown Memes Instagram account. Don't really use it that much often, but feel free to follow me there. Or just Arvo15 on Twitter is just my personal account. Feel free to follow me there too if you like. And obviously follow the podcast and like and subscribe here.
All right, cool. All right, guys, you know where to find me as usual on the YouTube channel. Make sure you leave a like on this video. Appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it if you haven't already done so. Appreciate everyone on the stream. Mike, especially coming on. Latest videos, as I just put out yesterday, was my Baltimore Ravens video, which is over at least 150 views. So I appreciate everyone watching it. Next video I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to see if I get on my second YouTube channel, because I want to kind of shift this channel into more football kind of stuff, but like keep the other sports going, which I'm gonna put my Phillies reaction video on my second YouTube channel, which I'll put the link out for that, which I'm still working on. It's gonna be a long video. It's like I've already started the script. It's almost gonna be like a whole entire page of like so much fun. So that will be fun. Future video, try to do a top 10 quarterbacks all-time list, and folks know what I'm going to put there. Number one, everyone knows. So yeah.
That's a good idea to move to do 2 different channels, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe what we should do is, if we're just going to just be football thing, we should rename it to the, what do you call it? To our the Pack Reacts page. Right? Yeah. We can talk offline, but that might help get people generated.
Yeah.
We can bring that offline now.
Definitely. But yeah. So yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys next week, and hopefully Jay will make it. So we'll have a special guest.
As always, folks, go Pack, go.
Yep. Go Pack, go, guys.